Aloha, hello, привет, and all other greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the long-awaited second episode of
Hey,
BeatGang Podcast. Bang, 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 pyro effects and all that flying everywhere. Oh my god,
It's been a while, but
just
we're back.
it's exciting, yeah. Kept you waiting,
It
huh?
is. It is.
First episode came out just God, how many weeks have passed since the first episode came out? A
At least
long
two.
time. A long time, probably. But we're
Yep.
back again. And we have another exciting topic to talk about. And no, it's not related to Country Star this time. It's going to be in the shell
Nope.
for a little bit. But we're going to talk about a topic that is both exciting, both interesting, curious, controversial, and
Very.
yes, very controversial, and all in all, captivating to discuss, to debate on, and there's going to be a lot of that for sure. So stick around for a lot of arguments and a lot of perhaps screaming. Depends on what we're talking about. I mean, what is the topic? Let's see, Mr. Craft. Can you say what the topic is?
yep, so we are talking about related to Deluxe songs and charts that were added like 4 months ago, recently, so it's really recent, but those charts are like, there is like some controversy and good stuff that happens during like those 4 months, so yeah, it's quite interesting to talk about that together, like last time with Country Star, so yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, and we also do have Dylan, as always, by our side, and this
Of
time
course.
he has a lot to say about some songs, a lot to say about some features regarding deluxes.
Well, I oughta. I've
what he
got
did-
pretty much all the charts.
yeah. So this time he made sure that he's pretty loud for the podcast. You know, he will be
Yep.
heard.
We've got the
Will be
audio
heard.
sorted out this time, so everything should be sounding nice and balanced, at least somewhat balanced. Better than last time, at least.
Sure to that. And
Yeah.
again, we're going to basically go over all of the segments as per usual. No big changes here, unless we talk about like one segment. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
For now, though, let's go over to the main thing for the podcast and the viewers. If you want to interact with our vid and leave your opinions, comments, and all that, please answer our beat question of this podcast, of this episode. So, the question is regarding deluxes, for sure. What are your favorite and what are your least favorite deluxe charts, deluxe beat maps you have, or maybe you've seen even? I don't know. Maybe you already kind of seen some deluxe and you were like just disgusted by it, disgusted by the gameplay, so you never really want to play it. But
I've
you know.
definitely felt that way about a few.
you'll
Yeah.
still play it. So,
Yep, you're right.
so pretty much, if you can leave a comment. Last time, the first episode, we did get some answers about the question of how people discovered the game, and there were definitely a lot of responses.
Yeah,
which
I love reading
don't know.
those. I mean, it's
And yeah,
It's
they're
cool to
all
see.
very interesting to read, cool to see, and honestly, keep them coming. We're happy to see that people are watching and people are listening to the whole thing. So
yeah.
yeah, just thank you so much for giving us a boost of sorts, the morale boost to continue this whole thing,
Yes.
and thinking, hey, maybe everything is going to work out just fine. Thank you all. And this basically covers the question that we wanted to ask you, the audience, but I think we can answer that as ourselves as well. So, favorite and least favorite deluxe charts. Who? I mean, there are many,
a tough
honestly.
one.
There are a lot of deluxe charts now. If we consider the fact that deluxes have launched in December of 2022, not too long ago, really. But we
No,
kind of
honestly.
have 66 charts, 66 big maps to
Yeah,
go
in the grand
through.
scheme of things, that's actually quite a bit.
It is. And I could definitely call one of my favorites in the Deluxe counterparts, and god dang, I gotta give a shout out to Unholy Deluxe. Sam Smith, Kim Petras. First and foremost, the song itself made me hyped for the season because I liked listening to Unholy when I first heard it. Then I also enjoyed the later work by Sam Smith, the album Gloria, and I hope some stuff from that album actually make it into the game, honestly. And the thing is, it's crazy to see Unholy after winning Grammy in Beatstar. Kinda.
Right. It was very perfect in a way.
Kinda, it is, yeah. And I just, when I first played Unholy, the standard edition chart, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. They did some okay cuts, in my opinion. Some of stuff that sounds, in sort of character to the song. But goddamn, the Deluxe chart was just fantastic. Is in how you represent a song, and you just get it into the game and whatever, and create a map to it. That was like a top-notch, freaking put into practice kind of thing. I loved it. I thought the swipes, the whole notes that the song had, everything just went in smoothly, perfectly, and it created just a fantastic chart that I still replay to this day. Really good one. But then if we go to the least favorites, it's something that a lot of people know, and probably is going to be a really popular answer to, the question of least favorite Deluxe charts. But I gotta say it, Pompeii. The transition from the normal Pompeii, which was already kind of wonky if you think about it.
It had some sort of sync issues. I don't know. It had problems. It had problems.
Yes, it did have some issues. It had a lot of people just were thinking that it was difficult for a normal, which I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was okay with the regular Pompeii. I was fine with it when you
it's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
When you get into it and you learn and you adapt to the rhythm of the song, it becomes okay. But then Deluxe happens, and you kind of think to yourself, okay, well, first 3 stages or so, it's all right. It's not too bad or anything. Why people are saying that it's bad? Like, why people are saying this is the worst Deluxe ever? But then, whole rails, they're fine, right?
And then you get to the chorus.
This not even the chorus. It's just the build up to the chorus.
Yeah.
The fucking drums.
Oh, the drum rolls
is the worst thing ever. They feel, especially when that's the thing too. When Pompeii came out first, and the whole thing with like speed of the charts of the beat maps
really
did not change. It was slow. It did not match the whole bits whatsoever. It looked rough. It looked just off sync.
It was clunky.
Really,
it was just.
It was an awful experience, and I'm glad that I actually DP'd it, because I was thinking that I was just up here for eternity.
Just like.
So this is basically the list of one of my favorites and one of my least favorites.
I'm really disappointed about it because the song is like awesome. I love the song so much, but the chart is like meh.
It's just mad best,
Yeah, but like the song is insane. I love it. But like,
I do really like Pompeii as a song. It's really good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say maybe my list and favorite chart. I'm gonna say first, I think nobody will expect this one to be my favorite chart, but I'm gonna say Kill the Mame from Grimm's.
Interesting pick.
I think it's a really interesting chart. It's really easy for an extremes, it's not even maybe an extremes. But it was like maybe my first or second Deluxe you know, that I ever played, and I really enjoy it. You know, I often come back to this specific chart, you know, and it was also one my first extreme DP. I was waiting to get like another extreme DP to DP Gangnam Style, which I DP'd right after. And yes, I really enjoy this chart. It's simple, but like it's satisfying, you know, with the arrows and stuff. It's not really revolutionary, but at the time, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it to this day. But my least favorite has to be, um, and not because like of some kind of skill issues, you know, but I'm gonna say duality.
Oh boy.
I really hate this chart so much. I remember me, like, I was playing at like some kind of fancy restaurant, you know, but because like I could play, you know, because like sometimes your phone is like going around doing like some messy stuff. So I had to buy something just to let it be in place, you know, so it won't just go out when I'm playing a chart. And yeah, duality is, in my opinion, not fun at all, because like there is one part I never finished without like spending gem and stuff. So yeah,
Interesting.
I really like maybe one of the hardest, maybe the hardest extreme chart ever made. And I don't think it's a good thing for like Beatstar, because like this chart is really messy and not fun at all, in my opinion. I know someone here loves it, but yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, definitely going to go over the difficulty and all that, especially since you mentioned the favorite and least favorite extremes in the deluxe category. So we're definitely going to cover that in just a little bit. But Dylan, question to you then. The same one, really.
I gotta say, I kind of have the opposite feelings because personally, I am a difficulty seeker. I look out for those charts that just push the boundaries, and honestly, my favorite charts for Deluxe is a two-way tie between My Sharona and Duality. Funny enough. So, My Sharona, the reason I really like it is, of course, the cut. They changed the cut. They added in this big guitar solo. It's awesome. I love it. But there is a problem I have with My Sharona, which is it's old. It's an old song, and the chart just drifts like crazy. It's not good. They would have had to use some BPM change stuff, and I get that that's complicated, but oh my goodness, it's bad. But the song cut carries it hard for me. And even with the drift, it's still fun to play. I do like it. And then there's Duality, which, in my opinion, is the hardest chart in the game. Clear wise, DP wise, I mean, it's brutal. It throws everything at you. You've got doubles, you've got 24ths, which are incredibly fast. You've got long 16th drills. You've got complicated swipes. You've got everything. I mean, it's everything that I could have ever wanted, and I think that they need to have more charts of a difficulty like that, because at this point in the game, I mean, I get a chart, I'll DP it in like 1 or 2 attempts, but Duality did not do that. Duality Deluxe, it took me half a day. It took me half a day at school. Granted, I did do it at school on a table, which probably annoyed everyone around me, but oh well. They got to hear the loud taps on the table, but the point being, it was hard. It took a long time.
Can I say something? Because like Duality is maybe one of my favorite songs at the moment, you know. So that's why it's really heartbreaking for me just to not play the deluxe version, because like it's so hard. You know, it's not casual. You know, there is like some charts really casual. You can even play some of them with like thumbs and stuff, you know.
Right.
But yeah, this one, yeah, no, yeah.
Duality's brutal on your thumbs.
Casual,
I mean,
you know?
it's just, yeah. And I've played Duality Deluxe on thumbs, and it's just brutal. I mean, it's a slaughter. And I'm not terrible with thumbs either. It's bad. I mean, thumb mobility is so much more difficult.
The fun fact is, the game is designed to actually play with thumbs, and they always show you that you can start a song with thumbs. They just don't really count indexes as something that really exists. So when something like Duality exists and something like My Sharona exists as well, it's just funny. To see.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
nearly all extremes nowadays. Like some of them are like really crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
extremes really do
you
push
all
it for
really
those
designed
thumbs.
this game for thumbs, bro? Jesus.
Yeah, I want to know if are the devs really playing these charts with their thumbs? Questionable. Questionable. But my least favorite, which is not actually going to be Pompeii, which might come as a surprise, but it's actually going to be Firestarter. And
Oh yeah.
Firestarter, I had high hopes for it, and it came and it disappointed. I'm just gonna put it's rough. They messed up the main riff or whatever you want to call it that keeps repeating itself throughout the chart. They messed up the charting on it, which was really whack. They kind of like swung in the middle of a 4-note pattern, which I don't know. I don't know what they were doing with this one. I think they were trying to follow the rhythm too closely, and they ended up just getting off of it, which, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's easy. But one thing I will credit this chart for is at least the vocals are not completely messed up like the original. The vocals feel at least somewhat synced. Actually, here's a bigger critique. The ending with these the rapid fire triplets, it's still undercharted. It's still undercharted, and I wish they would have done straight 16ths there.
No one knows style. Let's go. Firestarter Deluxe is going to be the
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I get the points. I definitely understand where you all coming from, and hopefully the audience can either relate, as in our favorites and least favorites of Deluxe charts, the Deluxe beat maps that we have, or perhaps they are going to name some of the songs that we did not mention yet. So in that case, I don't know. We gotta see what the people comment on. If you are listening, please go down to the comments and answer the beat question that we're going to repeat again. It's about your favorite and least favorite Deluxe charts in the game. And now we go to the main course. The thing, right? The thing that we actually gather here to talk about. The Deluxe's feature as a whole thing, not just gameplay stuff, not just beat maps, but how we get Deluxes. How do we actually open them? As in, how when we get a box, we get the Deluxes. What songs we got at the current iteration, I guess, of the Deluxe feature, and all that. We gotta see, right? We gotta discuss. So, the first thing that we just have to talk about is the whole thing, as in how Deluxes got kind of introduced. The first time we, I think, ever heard really of Deluxes being a thing of sorts, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to another moment in time when Boom Beach Frontlines died. We talked about it last time.
It's a tragic day.
It was a tragic day, but apparently a really good one for Beatstar, and
very good. Yeah.
And the whole mention of Country Star was a thing that we talked about last podcast, so we have to refer to that article yet again.
It's a nifty article. They revealed a lot.
And pretty much what they are talking about, that it was Simon Hayes, obviously the CEO, the co-founder of Space Ape. Pretty much what he was saying was that, on the product side, as a quote, we're gearing up for our biggest feature since the introduction of events and the Tour Pass. It's called Deluxe Mode, and it will introduce a whole new set of interactions, objectives, and mastery to the game. We have hundreds of songs in Beatstar, but an increasing number of people have maxed out the campaign, having played for a year. This feature will give them fresh depth and extend gameplay for potentially years. We're really excited about the potential of Deluxe Mode, and when playing it internally, it feels like it did when we first tested the game. Something fresh and new, but also familiar. And that was basically what we knew about Deluxes.
Bold claims from them.
November,
had a lot to live up to.
2022. And the thing is, like, after that, we did get our first glimpse, I guess, into the whole Deluxe thing, because December 6th comes around, and they post a photo and in-game news about like deluxe editions and new way to
Teasers.
play. So it's coming soon, and after that we were getting for a couple of days some photos, some things that we would see in the game shortly after. Like for example, December 8th we had a look upon the medals that are coincided with the deluxe songs, and I gotta say, like, design-wise and presentation-wise, Space Ape are bar none doing well here. Because the design for the medals, I really got hyped with that design. As in
It's beautiful.
the star, you got like this sort of again shine on the
It
gold
feels
medals,
premium.
and it does feel premium. Which, I mean, if you
It's
think
a
about it,
premium rhythm game.
it's a premium rhythm game.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, I'll give it. I
Quotes.
mean, the game is extremely polished, so they fit well.
Yes, indeed. And generally speaking, all the photos, all the promotional stuff that has been shown, it looked beautiful, and in a way, it did get people hyped for this feature. And a lot of people were actually talking about how deluxes could be potentially something that could bring, indeed, a little bit of fresh air into the game, because we definitely were getting a little bit into this sort of staleness, I suppose, with the content, since
Yeah.
what we were getting was just the tour passes, the events, which no longer gave. I think at this point the events no longer really gave out new songs.
It was solely
I think.
reruns. We were in a drought
Yep.
where it was just rerun, and it was painful. It was bad. They needed something.
And
Events,
the
yeah.
Nicki Minaj event, and
Oh, it's got
two of
released.
the Beatstar originals, I think. That's
I
all
think-
we got during.
But the thing is, like, it was only the Nicki Minaj event was later on. The Deluxe's thing was
Oh
definitely
yeah,
something.
okay. During when they added like the deluxe shot.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So pretty much we got all the teasers and all that, and people were kind of excited because hey, this is new content. Potentially, we're getting some stuff that is, as it has been said, accessible for free-to-play players. Right? You can get those songs just fine, and I mean, to be fair, they aren't like factually wrong.
It's still not entirely a paywall.
It's not entirely a paywall. That's true.
Yeah.
And then it happened. December 13th, Deluxe update comes out, and maintenance mode and all that stuff goes around. Discord is going crazy about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And bam, the Deluxe update comes out. It introduces a lot of things to the game, and a lot of things that you could either say they were really, really, really good, or really, really, really bad. Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Yeah.
So-
It's very two-sided.
The first thing, I guess, as in what we have to discuss, I suppose, is the whole concept of Deluxe. Now, we did say how it was important, I guess, to provide new content, since we had just tour passes going around. We had reruns for people basically that did not collect some of the songs the first time around, like with some of the August event reruns, with some of the other concept events, I guess, as you could call them, reruns.
Yeah.
And pretty much just we weren't getting like a lot of new stuff, a lot of new songs, and obviously people were kind of just getting a little bit frustrated, I suppose, because the tour pass would like be, oh well, if you bought it, you got 9 songs, you played them already, got the result you wanted, and that's about it. You just go on to do your stuff, and then unlimited play is still there for you, right? And you can just sit on it, whatever.
Right.
You've been sitting on it since like, I don't know, months and months, I guess, back
Yeah.
when you first. So basically, the whole thing that Deluxes do, I suppose, they bring new content. And the question is really, what are your opinions about really the devs creating deluxe charts? Do you think it was really a good idea to actually involve something gameplay wise, as in getting new songs, the new look, new upgrades, I guess, to the new difficulty, or you think we should have gotten something more in the sense of maybe new events, maybe something of a twist to the tour pass, that kind of stuff. What y'all think about it?
I think they had to like add new gameplay features to the game, because like a game have to evolve, to just keep the interest that people have to it, so like they can still spend money on it, so yeah, it's pretty logic. And I think doing like some kind of other part of the game, so they don't have to modify the whole game, so like for example in Beat Saber there is like older songs with like common, Beat Saber like classic, you have to slice block with walls and stuff, and after that they added arcs and like blocks with parts, so like it's different mechanics that's like it really changed how you see the game, but they did not add those mechanics to the older DLC, to the older packs, so yeah, I think it's great to separate the main game, quote the main game, I'm gonna say the main game, and the deluxe part. I think it's really great, and you can like maybe some for like some charts where some songs were wasted because like some they missed an opportunity on something, so like they can do it and improve the chart in the deluxe version. So yeah, that's why I think it's a great idea of doing deluxe charts instead of maybe improving events, or it's adding a lot of content for maybe not a lot of work, it's just a chart, and they don't even have to buy sometimes the right for the music, because like it's the same as in the main game, so yeah.
It was a
win-win.
It was a genius decision by them, really, because I mean it's a way they get to reuse the license they had and use a different cut. They can get the full use out of it and create a whole new gameplay. I mean, it was cheap and efficient for them, really. I mean, it was definitely a value decision.
Yes, and I think I also agree with the fact that deluxes were kind of a thing that should have been in the game, I suppose, maybe even earlier than we got the whole feature. But they needed time to, I guess, see how everyone's still playing the game and whatnot, if everybody's continuing to play ever since the tour passes got involved or the events got involved, this and that. So I guess they then decided to, in this period of time, after adding the tour pass, after adding the events and all that stuff, it was enough time to introduce something that has been kind of requested by people a long time ago, different difficulty to the song and all that.
Yeah.
And deluxes, in a way, they are a different difficulty. And they are a sort of fresh new coat of paint to the original songs, the original counterparts. And honestly, the whole idea is really good. I think that the fact that they create those deluxe charts, it's a fantastic way to, again, build some gameplay. And in a way, what they said, really, get some new, time, I guess, for people that have been playing the game for so long. They've probably maxed everything out already, got the unlimited play and all that stuff, but now they have another sort of thing to work towards too, which in the concept it's really good, really good. But then again, we go around to the whole release, right? So obviously we know already that they've introduced a lot of new gameplay features and a lot of new gameplay notes, I suppose, to just differentiate the deluxe mode to the standard editions or the standard mode. So we got the introduction of three new note types. We had the switch hold note, the diagonal swipes, and the rail hold notes. To which I do have a question. Do you ever actually see a difference between a switch hold
and rail hold? Yeah, that was one of the things that confused me, because is it that the rail returns back to its original lane? Is that the difference?
No, like the rail is like way more smooth than the other one. Like for example, like in some charts, it's na na, but like
the switch hold, like it switches within a 1 block distance, right? Whereas the rail kind of like gradually moves over.
It's gradually, and the other one is like just one tick.
Yeah, it's like one note switch over. It's like boom. Yeah.
Though to be fair, you can have some of the hold notes, like for example in Good Time Deluxe. I feel like those are switch hold notes, right? When they go.
I think
I just call them all rail. I call them all rail holds.
I think they just wanted to say, okay, there is three new gameplay mechanics.
They wanted to push the amount of content they were releasing.
Say, we are throwing it up to you. Just
there's actually 3 new things here if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Same. 3 is better than 2, so yeah.
Yes. And so we get to the process of how we actually unlock the songs and all that, right? So Deluxe has become available at rank 6 at, they say, in the official support.beatstar.com website. So you get a gold medal on standard songs to basically access the Deluxe edition. You then, when the Deluxe edition gets added to the box, collect the Deluxe cards to open the boxes. And what happens then, when you collect enough cards, you do choose 3 songs out of the selection of Deluxes that you have in that box. So they do kind of have this sort of element of you choosing the song that you want to play as of this moment. Even though again, the 3 songs are completely randomized. Like,
I very much appreciate that they did that.
I feel like, even though the whole pool is still randomized, the fact that you can still choose at least one song, it's pretty cool. As in,
it's
maybe you really want to. Maybe you got like 2 songs that are just nothing really. You don't want to play them because they, in your opinion at least, they are kind of meh as Deluxes. And then something that's just, oh my god, you really, really want to see the Deluxe chart of that song. So you just choose it and you play it. Because, hey, I mean, you're the one to tap here and you're the one to continue. So you did this to yourself. And pretty much they do say that, hey, you need to now play the song. That way you experience the new ways to touch your music. And earn the Deluxe medals, which they did do a thing that makes total sense in a way. If they want to push the whole thing that Deluxes are a premium experience that takes favorite songs to a whole other level with exciting new gameplay and all that, you increase the points that you need to get a certain medal, which that makes sense. And also, what is a fantastic decision in a way, they actually separated the standard edition leaderboard into the Deluxe leaderboard. Because imagine what happened, what would happen if the Deluxe songs were in the same leaderboard as the standard editions.
Disaster strikes out. It'd be a mess. I mean,
actual chaos, just.
No.
Oh my god.
To be fair, both leaderboards are still pay to win, which is just how it's gonna be.
One is like
it's the thing,
a bit more pay to win than the other.
One is really pay to win, and one is like it's been that way forever, so it's just kind of how it is.
There is a leaderboard like okay, you spend some money into the game, and there is another leaderboard. Okay, you spend your salary.
The amount of people who have just like not the best scores in the world, but have all the charts and are just sitting at the top of the Deluxe leaderboard it's disturbing, really, to see how many people are willing to drop money even though they don't have the skill maybe at the time. Like, it's just weird.
I legit remember how one person from the Russian leaderboards, which I mean, we'll talk about it soon enough because that goes
Right.
into another topic of why we're saying, oh my god, you need to pay the whole salary to actually get to the top of the deluxe leaderboards. I think in a couple of days, they literally just got 30 songs that dropped in the deluxe batch, which is holy crap. You paid
That's
so many
some
gems
money. That
and
and
money.
the thing is, that was before they even did like value deluxe events, so you know they were paying to open boxes, which takes time too, because you got to play songs, you got to get those boxes. That's a lot of time and money.
And again, right?
It's like 40 gems for like one normal box, which
Yeah.
is insane. Like
Close to
Wow.
40, and then gold cases with 50 something, which
It's
is
like
just
55, I think. It's just ridiculous.
it's a hit. It's legitimately just such a hard hit. But that person literally got every single deluxe song in just a couple of days, I think, in a matter of days. Honestly,
Yeah. It's like, but was it
They
worth
have-
it though? Was it worth it? I cannot imagine that leaderboard spot was worth it. It's a mobile game. Was it worth it?
Yeah,
I
when
guess-
when
I
you
guess
have a
for
lot
them,
of money and nothing really to do,
I mean, they probably
I
never
guess.
they never expected that they would still lose unlimited play for a long time. If you think about it, because we're going to discuss something regarding unlimited play and how
Yeah.
a certain change happened to tour passes, but that's a bit later. So when we were talking about the 30 songs that got added in the game, we obviously talked about the batch that pretty much got into the release. A lot of songs that honestly deserved a deluxe chart, but also some songs that you think to yourself like, do you think they really needed a deluxe chart at this point of time when we have something like Fell in Love with a Girl that really
Right.
needs
Some disasters out there that need some help.
Yes, but we're
Yeah.
going to read over some of the song names and difficulty related. But I mean, there were only two difficulties really for the Deluxe back in the day. You got like the hard difficulty and the extreme difficulty. We don't have at this point of time normal deluxes. They just don't exist.
The
So
ultra rare
the
normal deluxe.
we got a lot of hards in here, and if I go by name, they are as follow: Back Pocket, Circles, Someone You Loved, Say So, Blinding Lights, Panini, Dilemma, La La La, Talk, Little Talks, Bad Romance, Pompeii, Tusa, Hazel Sister, Starving, Cake by the Ocean, Skater Boy, Congratulations featuring Quavo, and The Good Time, Owl City, and Calico Jepsen, obviously, that song. 24K Magic, The Less I Know The Better. Those were the hearts. And now, if we talk about the extremes, they did add the middle. Hey, yeah, we had
Extremes, the middle.
extremes. The middle was an extreme, yeah. You
Yep.
remember? It
Oh
jumped
yeah,
from
yeah, not
normal
the gray one, the Z one. Sorry.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
It's
sorry.
confusing, isn't it? It's confusing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got the small all the small things: Kill Me Maim, Bang Bang, 7 Days, Firestarter, American Idiot, and Crank That. So you have a lot of normals in here that were converted to deluxes and became either hard or extreme difficulty. You also had some hard songs that either stayed in the same difficulty, but they became, in a way, harder, or some hards that actually jumped to difficulty and became extreme, and only one extreme that got a deluxe, which was Firestarter. And back in the day, a lot of people were really excited about Firestarter because, again, the original chart, it's considered by many to be disaster.
Yep.
Because of
Definitely.
just how
Definitely
insane
not fantastic.
Though, in my opinion, I do have.
I think it's great, in my opinion.
I do have a soft spot for Firestarter, the regular version, and the
I just can't
deluxe
stand
version.
it.
But it's
As a
just,
sync
it's just
perfectionist, it drives me nuts, some of the things they've done in that chart.
Yeah.
I think listening to the tabs, I can sort of understand what
Oh
they
my
try
god,
to
yeah.
do. So those are the songs. A lot of tracks for, a first release kinda.
Yeah, for the
thingy.
initial drop, yeah.
But then you kind of think about it, right? 30 tracks, nothing's bad really, right? It's a little bit of grinding, but you can just get back to it. Get back to the whole maximum
Back on the
thing.
grind. Yeah.
Yes. But then something tragic has been discovered by the community, and that is regarding the cards. Deluxe cards.
The box cap.
The box cap and all that. This is going to be fun. So first and foremost,
Grim.
they say how you have a chance to collect deluxe cards when opening your slot cases, which makes sense. They basically bring over a new box type, and you gotta collect card cases and all that. Okay, well, sure, expected, I guess.
Right. It's
If you
how
unlock
they've done it.
all of the songs, and they also say that if you've unlocked all of the songs in the journey, you'll also receive deluxe cards as a replacement reward in Tour Pass and events, which
is awesome.
in concept is really awesome.
It sounds awesome. Yeah.
Because of the fact that it makes Tour Pass rewards actually mean something, because of the fact that when you had all the songs in Journey or whatever, right? Tour Pass rewards would just
Tour Pass hurts. You're paying the full price for just the songs. You're not getting any of those
and
extra
the banners
bonus
and the
rewards.
emotes.
songs and also cosmetics.
Yes.
But that's about it.
But
you don't
the
have
bonus
any
rewards.
cards. And you don't really get the full value of the pass, which
You're losing a lot.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot for people that actually completed the journey mode and got the unlimited play. There wasn't a lot. So the fact that we have these replacement rewards, concept-wise, cool stuff. But then you get a replacement reward for cards or a song case. You do receive 50% of their value in deluxe cards. To round it up. So for example, if you get 5 cards as a reward, right? They convert to 3 deluxe cards. And pretty much, if we talk about the whole half thing, you got Sun Case, which normally rewards 4 cards. So if you get like 4 cards standard-wise, you get 2 deluxe cards. Large Sun Case, which normally rewards
2 or 3
cards.
Well, yeah, I know the small one is 2 to 3, large 4 to
3,
it's
3 to 4,
Yeah, it's
3 to 4.
3, but like it's an example given by the dev, so I'm reading.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So for a large song case, normally rewarding 8 cards or whatever, you get 4 deluxe cards. And obviously you can also watch an optional video ad for, I love how they worded bonus deluxe cards, but if you think about it, the ad only has 1 card, which, to be fair, they're not entirely wrong, because you can watch 10 ads, I guess, and you can get 10 cards each day.
I mean, they say cards. You get 1 card. If you get 1 card from like the extra thing on the Tour Pass, like on the extra levels, it still says you get 1 cards. It says 1 cards.
1 cards.
Yeah, you get 1 cards. There's multiple there. You just gotta find them.
So many cards. God dang.
Right.
And also, again, we got some actual questions, I believe, answered by Space Ape here. So, for example, can you add deluxe songs to the wishlist box? No. But you can choose between 3 songs when opening a deluxe box, which doesn't really answer the whole thing, I guess.
No.
About can you add deluxe songs to the wishlist box? You could have just said no, and that's it.
Yeah, really.
You did not explain the fact of like you can choose between 3
They're
songs.
trying too hard there.
Because, like, for example, if I'm going to get a freaking Say So, if we talk about the initial batch, right? I'm getting Say So, Panini, or something like Starving. I don't think I would have favored those songs. I just wouldn't. So not really wish list songs.
Yeah.
But hey, other than that, can you use rainbow cards on the deluxe box? The
No. Which really is a bummer.
And of course, they do mention the whole thing of like continuing a deluxe song. If you failed, if you missed some notes, right? You can continue. You can keep your streak up, but the first continue this time around cost 5 gems. And the thing
This
is,
a scam.
the main difference to the standard editions is the intro stage. You fail at it, you cannot continue.
Yeah.
A.
This is a scam.
It's
Yeah,
It's
I
rough,
really
it's
understand. Yeah,
it's just rough, but I mean, premium feature, and we need
Premium
to.
feature, premium payments for your death.
premium.
And also, if you think about it, I mean, they want to. I guess they want to build the whole thing, the deluxes, as this sort of unique way to play through the songs or whatever, and they are on a whole other level. So,
It's a unique way
in
to
a
pay.
way, them having intro stages also costing like jams or whatever, that kind of makes sense because you just got kind of give away this vibe of, I mean, it's difficult, you know. If you fail the intro stage, you're not just gonna pay up, bro.
Yeah,
You
and
cannot
again,
get-
if you're failing the intro stage, chances are you're just gonna restart the song anyways because it's intro. You're not far enough along to actually want to utilize a revive.
pretty much, you cannot get away this easy, bro. You cannot. So
Yeah.
another thing was, will deluxe songs show up in Daily Shuffle? Which, I mean, it was a yes, which makes kind of sense. But then again, it in a way it does give a little bit of a possibility to, for example, you get a Daily Shuffle someone you love deluxe, now you get freaking 18 tour points instead of 14 as before.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
cool.
nice.
And then you got, does EZQ suggest deluxe songs? Which, yes, it prioritizes deluxe songs to play.
Yeah, that's where
Which-
I'm kind of iffy because let's say in this theoretical world, I have let's say every song in the game has a deluxe chart, and I have every single one, and I'm only able to get deluxe charts now in my daily shuffle, but I want to play. I like the normal chart of a song better. That's kind of
Yeah,
rough.
it would be cool to like to
Switch it.
choose.
Yeah.
And also EZQ just let's
So,
imagine switching songs
you
just to
can,
find a
like-
standard edition.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you can choose like, okay, you can maybe play on the OG one, but you're getting less points because
Right,
like
it's
the
like a-
majority of normals are getting are transforming into hards, and majority of are not really now, but like some of them are transforming into like extreme, so like you're earning less points, but you can still choose like which one you want to play.
Yeah.
This would have been better, I think.
I agree.
I
But yeah,
suppose
they can still change it later. So, yeah,
Right.
that's really a big problem.
And of course, we have the main issue when people found out that this update includes like the songs or whatever, right? The deluxe box and all that. And this question is in here. Can I still earn free unlimited play by collecting every song? To which the answer
Good
is,
luck.
but this
Yeah.
now includes whole journey and deluxe songs. And the
Yeah.
crowd just died.
Rip.
Yep.
Because what happens is the realization that unlimited play that you had for months, just you were sitting on it for such a long time, chilling with the game, I guess, playing it whenever you want it disappears. It's now over. You need to collect the
Vanished.
deluxe.
Gone.
But then, it would have been alright if, you know, the deluxe box was, you know, the same as the standard edition boxes. But the thing is,
They took that
this is
card
what we
down.
did not mention yet. We did not mention this.
Mm.
The deluxe box got this one thing regarding the cap. It starts at 10, which is like, okay, the
Yeah.
usual thing. You get like freaking some of the boxes, I think like with 5 as a starter point, I think.
3 or
The standard
5.
3 or 5, yeah. So you get to this whole thing, the deluxes. It starts with 10, I believe. You get a free
Yeah.
deluxe out of the rank 6 unlock, which is cool,
Yeah.
I guess. This is the taste
Nice.
of what's to come, I suppose.
Yep.
But then you get another box. 10 cards, okay. It increases by 10, 20 now. Alright.
Or
Increases by 10, 30. And then it goes 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. What are we
90,
doing?
where are we going
What
here?
doing? One mother flipping 100.
The big
That's the card
mama of
cap.
song
Yeah.
boxes. My goodness.
And remember the whole thing of card cases now give half of the
So now it
standard
really feels like you're getting gypped.
pretty much. I mean, you can still get stuff from, the tour pass, but if you're a free-to-play player, you can get only the free rewards, which I mean, it's better than nothing. But of course, like buying the tour pass gives you the whatever sort of maximum potential of the tour pass.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you get maybe a couple of deluxe songs. To
Right.
really maximize everything, you need to get to the events too. You need to play the events and get the prizes as well. Because to be perfectly honest, like, the replacement rewards do help a lot in the events, since now you can get
Yes.
boxes again. And because you
Yeah.
can get boxes, you can get 20 deluxe cards if you get a box, which is a boost. It's not a
handsome
big
payment.
boost.
1/5.
In terms of deluxe cards.
Yeah. It's not a really big boost, but at the same time, it is a boost. So
Yeah.
much appreciated, Space Ape. And also because they started to recently, I guess, put a lot of boxes in events. So for example, if you were getting like a rerun event, sometimes you would have like 5.
Yeah,
Of
it's
the,
either you'd have 5 boxes or you'd have like 2 and then some like previous past banners and like emotes.
Yes. Which in a way, it is kind of cool, I suppose, because of the fact that you can earn a deluxe song out of this. But again,
Right.
if you're a free-to-play player, you need to be super lucky to actually get 5 boxes. Because at the end of the day, you can only get 1. Which, to be perfectly honest, that's also cool, because before, I don't even think the prizes in the event were guaranteed, since there weren't enough spins to actually get a guarantee. Now, though, the events kind of got this whole thing down, where the week events, I suppose, before the weekend ones, they actually get 30 tokens for. They actually get 30 tokens for first places, which again, with 4 rounds, that does round up to a guaranteed prize. Cool stuff. And for the weekend events, well, there were more rounds, and you do get again a guaranteed free spin. They try to actually like make this whole change a little bit, I guess not as impactful to a lot of the free-to-play players, but the thing is, like,
Yeah.
it's still going to take an impact. It's still going to take a shot, and a lot of people felt that shot. And a lot of people were against the whole thing because they were thinking they were getting robbed out of the unlimited play. Which, funny thing is, you're kind of adding insult to injury in a way, putting unlimited play up for 7 days when the whole update for Deluxe has happened. Because, you got the 7 days of unlimited play for free, and then
And
boom.
bye-bye.
Nothing.
Back to reality.
Yeah. Back
Which-
to when you were a pro.
Yeah.
Back to where you need to actually collect content, which, to be perfectly honest, this is where a debate can start in a way about unlimited play, because we know how Space Ape has been positioning themselves in regards to unlimited play. Especially like recently, it has been known that Space Ape never really viewed unlimited play as this sort of end goal.
Right.
Basically,
There
what
was
I'm-
never supposed to be something that was like actually obtainable in normal
Yes,
by
and-
normal means.
Unlimited play was basically a thing which you would get if you have gotten every single free content thingy. Which back in the day, before Deluxes, those were only journey songs.
It was the big
Right.
spender's prize, basically.
In a way, but the thing
unless
is,
you
like,
grinded it
unlimited
out
play,
really, I mean, unless you really grind out the game, which it's perfectly possible. I mean,
It,
I have a
it
friend
was
who
perfectly
has.
possible, and I think even if you think about it, playing through a lot of things, as in like playing through like songs, collecting the cases and whatnot, playing the tour passes still, I feel like getting a unlimited play was actually like fairly possible thing to do.
yeah, it
And
is pretty easy.
surprisingly pretty easy to do so as well. So a lot of people, again, they would find themselves, even with new songs getting added, just sitting on the unlimited play, for such a long time and never really, caring about anything else that comes out because of the fact that, hey, why do I need to buy the tour pass or whatever, right? I already have unlimited play, just chilling with it. I don't really need any other songs unless they add them to journey mode, which, to be fair, I guess there are a lot of things that come to design, and I gotta give props with, balancing some sort of stuff, because I just don't think that Face It can all of a sudden, the tour pass has gone, season 1 is done, and whatever. Next day, season 1 songs are in Journey now. You can get them all for free.
That would,
Come on, that's just unreasonable, and a lot of people that would expect that every single song from a season pass or an event just come to, Journey mode for free in just a matter of days, weeks, or even like month or two. That's just unreasonable, and that's just like, you cannot do that. You would just lose money in that case, and SpaceSafe would probably not be having its success with Beatstar as they have right now. It's just
it's funny, but it's sad that I'd probably still spend the money.
Right, but the thing is, like, we still paid money because of the fact that we support the game. We like the game.
It's a devoting.
Even if it's flawed with some of the issues that the game has right now, because of the whole deluxe thing being a grind and whatnot, we still love the game and we want to support it with whatever we can, because there is something good. It's one of the, even if we talk about how monetization is shit, it's better than most of other mobile games, which is just funny.
It's fun.
Yes and no, I think.
I mean,
obviously yes and no, but
because there is a lot of ads,
Well, I see a lot of people complain about the ads, but I think it's a really good deal that you can just make one little extra small gem pack purchase and you're good for life. Everything else is just.
I'm just going to say.
No, but like not the ads after you are finishing with no. I'm just talking about ads
ad
for
choice.
one card, one deluxe card.
Okay, yeah, the value of the ad watching for deluxe cards is rough.
Oh, you think so? You're basically saying that rewarded ads do not really match up, I guess.
They don't deliver as much as they should, maybe.
They don't deliver. Okay, that's an interesting point, I guess, because if you were saying oh, free-to-play players getting ads, that sucks. I think that's true. It sucks, but at the same time,
and they're playing a good game.
Yes, and also if you think about it, some free-to-play games that have ads in them, they just go and appear during fucking gameplay and shit.
They're just baked in, and you can't even
Yeah, and it's those games are not good. By presentation, by gameplay, they're not good. Beatstar is actually a pretty good game. Fun one to play through. So, in a way, at least we're not getting ads before attempting, unless you watch an ad by yourself, which is your decision to watch an ad in this case, if your case slots are full. And we get ads only after finishing the song, or just finishing an attempt, which, in my opinion, that's okay. You can skip an ad still. That's all right. It's not the end of the world. Annoying, frustrating, but not the end of the world. And again, we're playing a mobile game, for fuck's sake.
It's what do you expect?
I can forgive some aspects, I think, in that regard, because again, it's not something this is such an off-topic example, but NBA 2K, where they put ads in their game, basically, and they have product placement just basically get into your head, because you just see all the brands in here, all the brands in this game, which is just annoying as hell and really not representative of it's not representative of a good game, I think. In that regard, I'm fine with what Beatstar is doing, and genuinely speaking, that's what I think about non-rewarded ads. But the rewarded ads on deluxe card, you're right, Craft.
I think it's time to talk about the bugs also in the deluxe.
The bugs.
So the main bugs, being with the rail ones, not really working.
Yeah.
But it's maybe just a feeling type of thing.
There's a
But
specific.
there is also like the other bug that we will talk about a bit
Yeah.
later on. So yeah, go ahead. Dylan.
There was a very specific bug with rail hold swipes that has been in the game until just recently when they updated Journey. They seem to have half fixed it, but what I'll kind of explain. So rail hold swipes. So the problem with them, and there's two problems really. In order to, and this is a problem that existed previous to these, but hold ticks, of course, people, you'll diamond perfect a song and not get a perfect score because you missed a hold tick. It's always been a pain. But with these rail hold swipes, if you do not let the swipe fall into the perfect bar and wait an extremely long amount of time before swiping, you stand risk at losing a hold tick. And there's some songs have this worse than others. Some songs don't even have hold ticks in them. Like I know 7 Days has such a spread hold tick range that you don't actually miss a hold tick on the hold rail swipe. But songs like Hey Ya Deluxe were brutal with this one. You had to really wait a long time before you swiped it. But there was a second issue, and that was the fact that note counts were all messed up because of these hold rail swipes. If you were to hold your finger on the screen and swipe in the direction of the swipe but not lift your finger up, what would happen is the chart would keep coming down, but the swipe would, on the hold rail would disappear, but the swipe would start bugging out itself and twitching. It's kind of hard to explain, but it kind of just like twitched up and down. And then behind the scenes, this is just adding a ton of notes to your note count. So as soon as you release it, it stops. You play the rest of the chart, and it kind of sucked because we didn't know what the exact note count of these charts were unless you manually hand counted them, which is what some people had to do in order to figure that out. Which just sounds like a pain, honestly. I mean, just sitting there through like a YouTube video of the chart and just hand counting each note and having to play it back because you accidentally miscounted one. It's just disaster. So recently in the Journey update they just released, what they did was they fixed the issue with the bugging out of the hold swipe, so it does not jitter and add notes to the note count anymore. It just kind of like jumps. It just jumps. It's like a normal hold swipe. You move, if you hold the finger down, the swipe jumps off, but you still need to swipe incredibly late to get the hold tick. And my assumption for this reason is I'm assuming the hold tick is just extremely, like, I'm sure there's like an invisible line in these hold notes where the tick registers, and I'm assuming the line for the end hold tick on these notes is just like halfway through the swipe. So with other hold swipes, there's not a hold, like with a regular hold swipe that's not a rail, there's not a hold tick at the swipe. They removed the end tick on those, but they did not remove the end tick on hold rail swipes, which is a big mistake in my opinion. I think a way to fix any hold tick problems really is just remove all end hold ticks from notes, because songs like The Touch, back when hold ticks were broken, I mean, that song has got hold ticks that are like right on the very tip of the hold note, which makes no sense because when you've got double holds stacked on each other that closely, it's really hard to get ticks like that, It's just, it'd fix everything. They just remove end hold ticks. Right.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you all said about the hold swipe up, because I definitely remember when I discovered it through playing Breaking Blinding Lights. Not Pompeii. Pompeii is like, okay, it can happen on Pompeii, I know that much, but it was Blinding Lights that was the issue, I think. Because I played that song, and on one of the attempts, I got 74,992. And I was like, okay, hold up a second.
Yeah.
Where did I get a miss hold tick? I thought that I held every single hold note correctly, as I was before. And then I realized something, right? I saw one YouTube video, I think it was maybe Ben actually, when he done the tier list or whatever, and he said that the hold swipes, the switch rail new interaction types, they're bugged, and so because of this, you need to swipe really, really late. Well, I mean later than usual at least, to get all the points. I was like, holy shit, no, why?
Yeah.
Because some of the songs just become legitimately like not
Yeah.
impossible to DP,
But just
but
unreasonably
frustrating.
awkward, right? Like, it's just
Unreasonably, because some of the songs that would be probably very very fun in deluxe form, like I'm going to give an example that's not Bang Bang, because that's oh god, that's one example that a lot of people use, and
how about
yeah,
Bad Romance?
exactly.
That
Bad
one's
Romance
woof. It's bad.
that one
It's
is
bad.
not
Yeah.
like it's not a hard beat map to complete. That's for sure.
No, but
It's not one of
the
the hardest, but the
swipes.
fucking bug, the freaking swipes on this one, they make everything here just worse, and they make you just think twice when you swipe and all that. Just did you actually swipe late or you actually swiped early? That's the problem that still like plagues some of the deluxe charts. And one example I would give even Bleeping Try Deluxe, because it has one spot with that swipe. It has one spot, and again, if you don't swipe it late, you can miss the whole six, and it's annoying because if you get a high score and all that, right, you're going to wonder, did you actually miss any whole ticks, or you did not miss any whole ticks? That's
Right.
the question, and
Yeah.
I think it's the problem is I don't know about the end tick being at the end of the swipe, basically, right, of the note itself. I'm just thinking like maybe the problem is the fact that with most of the whole ticks back in the day, mentioning the touch, mentioning Panini too, in a way,
Mm.
they were about the placement where you tap the
Oh.
actual notes, because that was important as well, if you
And
remember.
Right.
also, oh no, I don't have it. Bag Rider, Shooting Star. Shooting
Shooting
Star was also really buggy.
No way. Just a lot of songs that had, long hold notes, they would probably be in that
Yeah.
list. Where you just needed to tap lower that, the perfect bar or whatever, to get all the hold ticks. Because if you were to tap in the middle or above, it would just not count the ticks. They just disappear.
Yeah,
They're
which
gone.
tells me that ticks were calculated based on where your finger was. I'm assuming your finger is, if the tick passed where you're touching, then it would register, which is kind of an odd way to register them.
I just think that the ticks for deluxes, they work as intended. What they just need to do is that they need to make them more forgiving, I suppose, in swipes and all that. Because they did it to regular hold swipes. You don't really have that problem in there. But in regards to deluxe, they made them punishable. It's like if you swipe earlier, well, you're losing hold ticks. Which you could say, oh, it's adding to difficulty in a way, right? It's not that easy to complete a song again. I'm perfect on it.
But it's
again,
not
like,
the right kind of
not as
difficulty.
intended.
It's broken difficulty, which isn't nice.
It's not a good one though. Yeah, exactly. But that's the bug, at least the one that we got on release, the deluxes and all that. And again, though, the question is coming around with the the release of deluxes, because hey, we talked about the box, which is still a problem to this day. We talked about the hold swipe bug, which is still a problem to this day, but at least it's getting fixed a little bit, gladly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the fact that it's not going to screw up the note counts anymore. Thank
Which is nice,
God.
Yeah.
And we basically need to probably mention again the fact of gameplay and the fact that when 30 Deluxes released, how did you think the gameplay actually fared itself compared to, well, what we had before, with some of the hard charts, with some of the extreme charts that we had in standard editions? Do you think Deluxes actually improve, or they make things worse gameplay wise?
I mean, honestly, I think it's perfect. I mean, what Deluxe has really shown is how you can take a somewhat empty feeling chart and you can make it something incredible. Because, I mean, a song like The Middle, for example, it's a normal song. It's a normal chart, and all you gotta do is switch up the cut a little bit, and they transformed it into a pretty decent extreme chart. I mean, it's impressive.
And I think another example that we need to give, and props to really the dev team, is La La La. Because a lot of people were hating on the normal version of La 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 for being boring. Really,
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
boring. And the deluxe chart, first of all, increased the difficulty to hard. Second of all, was not expected by, I think, anyone to actually have a deluxe chart first.
Yeah, I mean,
Third of
it's
all, it was really fun. It made the song really fun to play through. It basically gave the song character.
it gave it
And
some life.
another thing, it gave it some life. And the thing is too, what I will never forget about any deluxe song is that this one changed the cut to a point where they put the censored thing, right? They uncensored it by just mashing up the words. You know, it's like the
Yeah.
I shut my wrist and go like sha 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 sha. I got your bitch singing la la la. But the thing is, like, they removed the bitch in the standard version because they use the radio edit, so it's
Right,
censored.
right.
But in the deluxe, they uncensored that part, and it goes like I shut my wrist and go like sha 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 sha. I got my wrist singing like la 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 la,
And nothing.
which is just that's genius. I do not care if the words do not fucking make sense.
Yeah,
Personally,
it's a clever censorship, and it makes it flow better.
it makes it flow better, and at the end of the day, it does not ruin the song for me. It makes
Right.
it fun, and honestly, that probably is one of the deluxes that I'm going to give as an example of sorts, where we talk about improvements, like how deluxes can improve certain standard edition charts, and for sure, they do
Yes.
improve, and they show a lot of creativity to the song and what the disc can do still. So it's not like, oh well, with 400 or something songs now in the standard edition category, right? You'd think that, well, creativity in Spaceship would just kind of fizzle out, and we would get same stuff over and over again with some of the charts. But no, they still give in a lot of their work a lot of creativity, a lot of things that are just looking at them, playing at them, you feel, damn, now this is actually really smart.
Right.
So
right.
kudos to Space Ape gameplay department for sure.
They've really shown the
I mean-
possibilities of a 3-lane rhythm game and what you can do with that kind of stuff.
True. With a lot of the swipes, with a lot of the new interactions, I think, yeah, if it wasn't for some small details that would, kind of ruin the experience, like the bug with the hold note swipes, the switch rail hold note swipes, I feel like we wouldn't be talking about the gameplay as in like annoying or anything, or annoying to perfect or something like
Right.
that, or broken difficulty. We would just not. We would just talk about how the songs are really fun, and I honestly do prefer right now, at least after adjusting to the whole thing of those freaking rail and switch hold note swipes being, well, broken. I guess I still think that most of the deluxes are really fun to play through, and in a way, thankfully, it makes getting 100 cards, which is a pain to go through, especially like when the 30 deluxes came out. It was such a pain to go through all of them because
Right.
you had to collect 100 cards for most of these,
Yeah.
and the grind was unbearable in some cases.
Yeah, it was
Unless you
scary.
were like,
Because we
it
didn't
was
know if they were
scary.
going to drop 30 at a time in the future or if they were going to go smaller or bigger even.
really, really.
I also remember like the $10 pack, with like 100 cards, I think. 100
My
or
God, yes, the
150.
deluxe bundles.
No,
right.
100,
Yes, the bundles,
100.
which I love. I really do
What a
love the
scam.
bundles.
I love the bundles now, but when they came out at first,
They were not good value.
wrong.
Yeah.
They
They
were
used
really just not good.
They've definitely changed them a lot for the better. I gotta say,
Yeah,
I mean,
now
$8
it's like
or I guess
250 cards, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
the
250
first
cards,
one
and I
was
think
like
do you get some
100
gems
cards.
too? I think you get some
100
gems
gems,
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
100
which is
cards.
awesome. That's awesome.
That's awesome, and really, it makes worth actually buying the bundle. Which,
Right.
hey, I mean, if you want to spend money, that's a good deal, kinda. Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
are
but
getting
that's
a lot of
nearly a
cards.
tour pass just for like 2 songs.
Well, when you put it like
Yeah,
that,
That's a lot.
Yeah.
but when we're
That's
putting in terms of
a
deluxe songs, there's not many good alternatives that are going to be more valuable than that, other than spin
Yeah.
packs
Yeah,
because of
but
something we'll talk about later.
But
that's
we will
still a
remember
lot
one
of
thing
money,
that
in my
changed.
opinion.
We'll remember what changed with tour passes after the deluxe introduction, with at least like one
Yeah, but
season that did one
but like
thing.
tour pass is like 9 songs, 4 banners, 1 emote, and like let's say
And
1
that's what,
deluxe
yeah,
chart.
that's what makes Tour
Yeah.
Pass so value, though,
Compared to
and it
like
really is.
2.5, I don't think it's as worth it as some people may think. But it's the only way to get a lot of deluxe charts
Yeah.
Yes.
easily. So I understand the 2 parts saying, okay, it's great.
Yeah,
and
we just kind of have to
okay, it's not
accept it.
great, but
Yeah, they just kind
I
of.
have some mixed feelings about them. You know.
It makes the
About-
grind again just bearable, I suppose, and doesn't make you go insane
Yeah.
waiting for cases to open and also playing the event, feeling like, oh well, do I need to actually buy the spins to get everything in this wheel, or I can actually get away with this freestyle, pretty much.
Right.
Which I mean, it can happen, but it also cannot happen sometimes. So
Yeah.
especially when sometimes like a lot of people were kind of complaining where boxes that you want to collect because of the deluxe cards or whatever, they're paired up with cosmetics that you don't have, which sometimes because of this cosmetics
Yeah,
I'm put into this unfortunate position where people just hate them because of the fact that they are so close to the things that people want, which are deluxe cards. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? You need to balance things out. Some people like cosmetics, which hey, I'm one. So
I have
Yeah, I
every
don't-
emote.
Yeah, I don't usually utilize a lot of the banners. I usually just, you
Yeah.
know, next season I'll just pop on the level 30 banner and just ride it out to the end of the season. Next season, put on the next level 30 banner.
I'm
have,
still,
like-
I'm still sitting with the pride banner. So
Yeah.
I have the 99, a 99 banner. You know, it was like during season 7. The rock run during summer. You know, I don't remember the name because it's not the same in French. But
Absolutely
we like
legendary
What's
season.
Golden, and Willy Forever.
yes,
Yeah, what a
so
good
I
season.
don't
What a good
remember the
season.
name. Yep. So 99
True.
banner. I'm really proud of me.
In Space Ape, if you're listening, I really do prefer the 5 hard, 3 normal layout of Tour Passes. I really do.
Wow.
We need some more
That's a
5 hard, 3
controversial
normals.
opinion.
right.
I love
Space-
my hard charts.
Space Ape, if you're listening to this, there are different opinions. I like 4 normals and 4 hards with 1
Yep,
extreme. I'm
me
fine
too.
with that.
I hear you
I also
guys.
like 9
we've been flooded with
extremes.
normal
This is also
charts.
a great thing.
Mates, what we can agree though, what we can agree upon is the fact that we do not want season 5 Africa.
Oh my
situation.
goodness.
There
Yeah.
was no extreme.
I don't. Looking back now, I don't think it was like that big of
It wasn't the
an
worst
issue,
thing ever.
you know, because
Yeah.
like the art charts were really great.
But I
in my
feel like
opinion.
it's just we're talking
Even
if
to
we're
this
talking about
day.
extremes and all that, right?
Yeah,
When they mention how season passes do not guarantee getting an extreme each time,
Which is
but the thing is like
they have.
after season 5,
They have.
every extreme. just
Yeah.
basically-
I think they only said that because of that pass. And
but I
Really?
think they had some trouble with like
Oh, they were
on licensing.
having trouble with licensing, yeah. I think
Yeah.
So
so.
so they just
I think
launched
it
their
was just a
song.
one-time thing, and now they know that they have to do an extreme every.
And I'm
tour
sure they
because,
have a
like,
bunch
people
of
get mad of
licenses
it.
prepared.
I mean, I just feel like
Mm.
you're doing now a good job
But
with the allocation of stuff.
like
I just-
like I said, just 9 extreme is also a great tool pass in my.
9 extremes with just 9 blocks.
Oh yeah, I would love
Extreme
9
tour.
extremes, dude. That would be a great tour pass. Difficulty.
But I think we got
Maybe a bit
lot-
overwhelming. Maybe a bit overwhelming.
So we already agree upon the fact that they show, like Deluxe's show, Space Ape show, a lot of creativity, and I guess the other question regarding the charts and the beat maps, whatever you want to call them, is the fact that, in your opinion, the initial Deluxe, well, 30 songs or whatever, right? The initial Deluxe batch of songs, were they really hard compared to the original. Well, were they hard, or they were meh, as in kinda there, you know. They don't really improve in difficulty or whatever that much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with quality, we kind of covered the thing that, in our opinion, most of the charts that have been introduced, they've been
They're
quality.
high quality.
They've
They're
been
high
really
quality.
good.
Yes.
But how,
So
talk about difficulty. Do they improve from the difficulty of the original counterparts? If we talk about, for example, probably hards, and if we talk about the extremes, because with normals, it's fair to say that, yeah, if we talk
Right.
about the transition from a normal song to
yes,
the
yes and no, yes and no.
okay,
Can I? So, yes, I think I have three like main opinions. Some were difficultly, no, some were really harder than the OG one. Like for example, um, Bang Bang, but this one was a normal. American Idiot. This one is really hard, even to this day. Like
That's true.
it's a great chart. Some were different in a way, like not hard but different. Like for example, Kill the Main from Grimm's. I think it's just not the same. You can say it's hard, but you can say like it's easy.
It's harder
I
than the
think
original. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
hard, but
but-
it's harder than the original.
Yeah, but it's hard in a way that it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So it wasn't made to be hard. I think it was made to be different, and just some of them were really different, but not specifically especially hard. And some are not really as hard as we may want them to be. So like for example, Firestarter Deluxe is like not really hard. If you just think about completing it and not just deeping it, which is not the same.
Right.
So yeah, we have like all kind of scenarios, in this like OG batch. So yeah, that's cool, I think. What do you think about it, Dylan?
I mean, I definitely think that there was a common theme with charts getting a decent difficulty boost, and across the board, and there's a specific song we'll talk about later that has to do with this, but I think the way they worded it gets kind of confused sometimes, whether they really wanted to make more difficult charts or more different charts or both. And it's complicated because some charts, like Kill V Maim, it's like, it's not necessarily, it's not hard, but it's harder. Yes, it's harder than the original, but not terribly, and it's not in like, it's still simple. It's weird that they labeled it as an extreme. I mean, that's definitely one of the more controversial difficulties, I'd say.
Righty. I think I agree with most of the points that have been said there, so I don't find anything that I can add here to this conversation. But in regards to, I guess we can go to a conclusion about the OG batch, because we mentioned a lot of points already. What do you think the devs have done right in the positioning and marketing, I suppose, of the deluxes, and when released, what they done right? And what mistakes have they made regarding deluxes?
Personally, I think the way they advertised it, at least definitely confused me again with whether everything was supposed to be more difficult or not, or whether it was just supposed to be an upgrade in chart quality, or both. Because I think with most of these songs, we're seeing both. We're seeing a difficulty spike, and we're seeing a definite quality improvement. Every chart feels very organized, very kept together, but there is a difficulty increase in most of them. But then we've got, and I'll mention it now, the one outlier and possibly the strangest decision, which was Godzilla Deluxe. And I've got very, very strong opinions on what they did with it. There are good things and bad things. I really do like the cut they used for the most part. they included Eminem's second verse, which in my opinion was charted amazingly, and it played super well, and it was smooth, and it was something that I missed from the original. But we gotta talk about the transition at the end, which they cut from where it would probably go into the 16th, the nice long 16th drills, to they used this weird transition sound effect that I don't even know if it's from the song or if they added it, but they used a hold rail, and then it goes straight to what would be in the song right before it, and then ended on kind of like a cliffhanger. It was very disappointing. And I just really, I will say it's the only deluxe chart in the game that I don't want to say it's easier than regular Godzilla. For some people it is, for some people it isn't. It just depends on how you're able to deal with swipes and stuff. I still think it's a very quality chart, and I do think it's fun to play through. But it's just it's disappointing, and it's the only deluxe chart that has, I believe it's the only deluxe chart that has less notes than the original. Which is.
It probably is. It probably is the only one.
I think it's an outlier.
About Godzilla Deluxe.
I wanted to add on to the fact of like what Space Ape did right and wrong, I guess, with the whole deluxe concept, and when it released to the world, the reaction, all that. I was thinking that what they did right is the fact that they added. Well, first of all, the whole concept of deluxes actually became a real thing, because we already discussed that new content was needed in the game, in a way, in any way, shape, or form, and having like new beat maps to play through, and with new interaction types, with new song cuts. Which I'm going to say this one, having new sections to play through in any song, it's a fantastic thing, because you just get more potential out of a chart in a way, since some cuts weren't included in the original counterpart. Some cuts were just straight away freaking, I don't know, bastardized, I guess, with transitions and all that.
Yeah.
But now, like with some of the deluxes, you got basically a unique experience, whether or not you got the full-on cut, as in with La La La, you basically have the full song on there, or you have the middle, where it's just the addition of the solo, really, and pretty much it's still the middle, just with the solo now as a bonus, I guess. Circles with the addition of the intro, just a lot of song cuts that add on, or sometimes it's a completely different song cut entirely, right? Which is commendable, and it's really cool to go through, because again, you feel like in the end of the day you're playing something different, and you're playing something that you've not experienced before, which, to be fair, deluxe charts definitely managed to do that. They are different compared to the standard editions, which should be the case. And if we talk about the marketing, I still think that the problem is with the whole positioning of what deluxes are. It's not just the fact that, are they difficult songs, or are they just unique experiences, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like what they marketed it as the difficulty thing, as in, a whole other level. You can take it either as a difficulty thing, or you can take it as a unique feel thing. But the thing is, we need to basically put forward the whole thing of premium. The premium feel that they wanted to give deluxes, with the gameplay premium feel that they wanted to get with obtaining deluxes, since how the cards are rarer compared to standard editions, which to me puts out this thing, which basically brings up a whole question of the unlimited play in regards to deluxes being involved in this whole thing, because you either view unlimited play as this sort of endgame content, which basically you get through the journey songs and then you go to actual deluxes, or you view them as a side thingy, just completely side, not even related to standard editions whatsoever. They're just side content, literally. in that case, like, if you think about it, if it's an end game thing, then of course it makes sense that you have unlimited play kind of just locked to deluxes, because it's the end game content, pretty much. It's the end game boss of sorts. You have to, you completed all the standards or whatever. You collected everything that the game allows you to, I suppose, to get in the
With
standard
a gold-
editions
with
in
a
Journey.
gold medal.
Yeah,
With a
yeah,
gold
yeah.
medal. Yep.
And then you also have those deluxes where, yep, the end game content, basically the end game bosses of sorts. But then, if you view it as a side content, the whole thing of actually blocking unlimited play to people who collected every single song in Journey, it then makes no sense, because
Right.
you already differentiate the leaderboards to the standard editions and deluxes. So we have two different leaderboards. You already differentiate the number of medals, kinda, to the songs, which, I mean, it's understandable, but then again, does it mean that you can remove unlimited play then? Because it's just side content, right?
Right.
Side content does not actually change anything in the main game, right? Kinda. It shouldn't, at least. If you talk
Right.
about the main progress, unlimited play, and stuff. So in that way, that marketing, I guess, is a bit weird. Since what do I view deluxes as? Do I view them as end game stuff, or do I view them as side content, side quests kind of stuff? Which, to be fair, by
Yeah.
design, I think it's the first version. Since I think it's the first variant, because well, everything just leads to the fact that deluxes are end game content. It's easier to collect them when you've actually done every single Journey song, as in you got every single Journey song. It's easier because of the replacement rewards and the event rewards too. So, and also just the fact that after you get all the Journey songs, every single card that you get from case, like any case, would be a deluxe card, pretty much.
Yeah.
And all the ads will be deluxe ads.
They push it on you.
Well, I mean, yeah, kinda.
But I mean, it's a
But-
good. It's good though. It's good.
Yes, and in the end of the day, it also brings this question up about unlimited play as a design choice, because unlimited play for people, right? It's a thing that allows them to play the game freely when they want, right? That's what we basically talk about. But the thing is, does unlimited play in a way make people complacent? Because if you think about it, gaining unlimited play and getting this sort of freedom can be so intoxicating to a point where when you got through the songs with unlimited play and you got the score you wanted, there's nothing to do. You're just done. That you got everything you needed, then that's it. You don't have to really play the game. And when time passes, it's not a guarantee that you will come back, because you might just get bored with the game and, well, you're done. Literally.
Yeah.
So in that case, I feel that it's such a double-edged sword with a limited play, as in, if you, it's a balance of interests, I guess. Because
Yeah,
if you give too much freedom, people that have that freedom are just going to become bored with it, and they're gonna go and try everything else that is beyond Beatstar. But if people are having, hard time to actually get to unlimited play, like really, really, really hard time, then they're just going to say, holy shit, I'm getting all these cases, I need to wait so long, I'm done with this, I cannot do this anymore. And so they leave.
Right.
And it's like a double-edged sword, as I say. It's like this sort of balance that needs to be up, in place, where people do not get upset over the fact that the grind is terrible, but also people do not have to get unlimited play like straight away and sit on it for months and months, because then it would just mean that there is no free content at the moment, pretty much.
Yeah. And there's another point with how they advertised, because I believe they were kind of alluding to this on the main server before the update actually released, but it was supposed to be this kind of thing for max average players. If you have like nothing, it's supposed to be a challenge for people who have max averages, you know, is supposed to be actually like content, because for max average players, we had nothing to do. We had nothing. We had DP'd everything. Yeah. We had everything. We had our unlimited play. It was supposed to be something that was a challenge, and it was something for us, and it wasn't. It wasn't enough of a challenge, and it was more of just like a, wow, now I can't even get the stuff that I want to play, which is just extra rough.
I guess it's just a challenge. Maybe they meant the challenge is basically to get 100 cards. Who knows?
That is quite a challenge, I gotta say. I think they underplayed it. I mean, it's bigger of a challenge than they were even saying.
It's a challenge of patience, basically.
It is definitely a challenge of our patience.
Yes,
So,
and
yep.
I think that's the problem of Deluxes at the moment. With the position and all that. With the positioning of Deluxes, that's the main problem, I think. And what I would say in that regard, because again, we're talking about the mistakes, all we want and all that, but what really are Deluxes supposed to be? I still think they should be just this end game content, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because and they need to position Deluxes now as this sort of end game content thing, because if they're going to position this thing as side content, then it makes no sense, because why then you would remove unlimited play for people?
Right.
Because it's just something that does not really regard as something that needs to remove my free unlimited play that I got for collecting all the journey songs. It just makes no sense.
It would.
Even though I see that the total songs are counting not just standard editions but deluxes, so they're connected. They're interconnected with each other, and you just cannot change it.
Yeah, it just all counts as journey. I'm assuming it's just like.
And so the only thing we need to take is just the fact that it's content that is available to. I mean, it's available to pre-players. Like, they can get it and all that. It's just that it's a grind to get through. And in a way, I feel that people, if they don't, it's a thing that needs to be, I guess, accepted. But the only thing that cannot be accepted, in my opinion, at the moment now, is the card cap. The card cap needs to be lowered for sure.
I'd be fine with 60. I'd be fine with 60 because 40 is the regular card cap, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
I think 60, I think 60 is fair, honestly. I really do. Because
70 already, in my opinion, just because of the fact that
75. So like,
you know how they have the cards for cases, they have the cards for replacement rewards, that they round up, so if you get 5 cards you get 3 cards. Pretty much I would say that in that case it makes sense that the amount for the cap, if you make it by double, like multiply it by double, it makes sense. 80 would be the card cap in this case that makes the most sense out of any card cap, I guess. And it would be still like, a challenge to get through, but not as bad.
Right. But what hurts the most, I think, is that it's doubly as bad, because if you're doubling the amount of cards you need and halving the amount you get, that's two terrible things you gotta fight against.
But they could balance this out. Like, here's a thing that we need to mention.
I don't think they really want to, because like it's been like 4 months since they
might still talk about it though. They might still talk about it.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm not really sure about that.
If you think about it, the Tour Pass price drop happened only in Season 8. It took them a lot of months in a way to go on with that decision.
Yeah, but
and they're still changing the Tour Pass, especially with like the introduction of Tour Deluxes. So they're still thinking about things.
Yep.
Yeah, and speaking of, if we move on from the initial batch, we did get a lot of things regarding Deluxes, right? We had a lot of things happening to addressing the whole grind thing, because we got introduced to new event types, the Deluxe Dashes, which new event type. On the one hand, the Deluxe, it's an amazing event idea. Kinda. Because
I think it's just a way to fix the insane cap,
beautiful.
But
Yeah,
we have
that's
the one
It's giving back. It's giving back to the community, which I appreciate from. I
Yeah.
really do appreciate.
Yeah,
what they've-
true.
it's a good idea. But then it's on one hand, right? And then the other thing is, it's still not enough because free-to-play players are going to be either lucky getting the cards, or they're going to just get something else which does not give, as
Right.
much deluxe cards. Or maybe just
It
any.
still incentivizes paying for spin packs in the end, which is still paying.
Pretty much. And so in that regard, it's like, again, a double-edged sword. For people that want to pay, that's an amazing thing, obviously.
Right.
Because they find the spin packs and they get so many deluxe cards they wouldn't have gotten by just playing and getting the cases. And even maybe from the tour pass itself, they wouldn't just get that amount of deluxe cards.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Deluxe Dash gives you like what, 150, and not counting the boxes. That is, not counting the boxes, 150 cards. Deluxe Dash Plus that has been introduced recently too, 250. That's big. That's pretty good.
That's
And
2.5
some
songs
people-
at max cap.
Yes.
Yeah. This
And
one
they-
is like 150. So
Yeah, this one's just a
This one that's
standard.
going on right now, the April Fool's one, that's definitely, again, 150 because it's not a plus event.
Yeah,
The
it's
plus
just a
event
standard
gives
one.
you 250, which, again, if you get lucky, that's amazing. And I saw a lot of people in the server kind of just getting lucky. They were getting 100 cards, which also,
Yeah, but
funny
like-
to mention, I made this like discovery today that if people have deluxe cards, right, in the wheel, and they get the deluxe
Okay.
cards, but they collected every single deluxe that they can, they are going to get a replacement for that reward. And the replacement for getting deluxe cards while you have all the deluxe open that you can have, I guess, rainbow cards. So
wow.
someone literally got for
Oh, like if
50
you don't have all normal songs, but you do have all deluxes.
Yes.
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 Okay, that's rough.
Okay.
50 rainbow cards, which is it's somewhere in the server. It's actually there, and it's such an insane thing because like I was thinking, wait, I thought you wouldn't just get 80 deluxe cards then, while you don't have anything to I guess you
Should
get
be 100.
should be just 100 or should
Yep.
just be collected until you get another deluxe song added to the box, because that works with other stuff, right? Not here, I guess. So screw
Yep.
me, my stupid head for playing the deluxe songs and getting them, and then not having any single other deluxe song in the box while I still have to collect the journey stuff. That's so odd. That's so odd. It's either
Yeah.
very lucky or very unfortunate. Different ways to view it, I guess.
Right.
But again, another thing that I feel like should be prioritized in a way, because we have two ways to earn the deluxe cards in regards to just not counting cases and not counting ads, right? We got the tour pass and the events, pretty much. That's it.
Right.
We need some kind of new event.
Yep.
I feel we need a new thing that allows a new
Maybe
source of
like
thing.
a daily shuffle, but for deluxe cards, maybe. No.
Yeah, I feel like we just need a new type of event that at least, I don't know, allows us to get more stuff in regards to deluxes, because I mean, we need to mitigate. If they're not gonna change the cap whatsoever, which I hope they still do, we need something to make the whole thing less of a grind than it is. Because right now, it's definitely a grind, and it's at such a point it becomes depressing, I guess, to go through every single thing and being like, God damn it, I still need to collect 6 songs or something? Are you kidding me?
No.
It's just painful. And because the thing is now, what changed, I guess, because with the addition of 30 songs or something, that's like, okay, well, you got 30 songs in a couple of months, Sure.
So yeah, for me, the thing that I like about this update is that you had the possibility you have the possibility to choose in between like 3 songs, and generally you want to take like you want to choose the extreme one in general, like, but when you have like 3 arts, you can choose the one you prefer, and in general you have at least one that you like and 2 others that you may don't like, so I think it's a great feature for like such a rare thing that is deluxe chart in a way. And yeah, the worst thing in my opinion is like the big cap. This should not be 100 cards, that's for sure, and everyone is not really happy about it. At first I was kinda pissed off, in a way. But yeah, for now, I'm just living with it.
So deluxe dash events and all that, that's good and all, right? I still think we need to get just more events, and I think that we agreed about that, right? We
Yeah.
agreed upon that.
Yep.
And mainly the whole concern wouldn't be maybe the whole concern about the events and all that, new ways to earn deluxe cards wouldn't be a problem if there wasn't one small teeny tiny thing that happened during the build up of season 16, right? So the build up of season 16 was very interesting in multiple ways. First and foremost, a broken event which allowed you to get a box, a Dormix box, I believe.
Yeah,
You could get a tutorial song if you already had everything, and I mean, that was bizarre. But then it built up to so much more. First and foremost, you get deluxe songs in season 16, season 16 revealed entirely. We didn't know that was the case because some people were having like theories that, oh my god, it's just a placeholder, right? It's just a placeholder. They're not going to be deluxes. Well, in reality, they were, but again, at that time, we were being, some of us, naive. And another thing that happened was the bug. The one thing that made so many people say, well, at least the dedicated ones, I'm done with the game. For some reason, the bug was taken so seriously, as in the fact that it basically created conversations as in, if Spacey doesn't fix it, it will kill the game.
Yeah.
Literally, those were the topics.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mr. Craft, please say, what was the bug? What was the thing that almost apparently killed the game entirely?
So it's not really clear, I think, but there was a bug, that even if you made some mistake during the track, you could have just had sometimes a diamond perfect out of nowhere, like it was like in 2021. It was the same thing, but for normal charts, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why Archville left, in my opinion, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, a lot of people were like really angry at that because like it's not when you have like some kind of leaderboards, you can't just give everyone a diamond perfect even if they are making some mistakes and stuff. So yeah, it's really messed up a bit the whole ranking system. Some people just straight up DP'd all their deluxe songs, and some like me, I've DP'd some. For example, I DP'd Firestarter because why not? Okay, because I have a theory. I think it was due to the update after that, adding more speed to it, and it was due to a bug with like some old notes or maybe rails, because like in a rail type of chart, they were easier to DP than without or with, so I think it was due to some old notes or rail notes, but that's not the problem. Yes. So yeah, it's really messed up the whole ranking system. So what do you guys think about it?
I
Did it
think,
really
oh
kill
god,
the interest?
that whole thing was definitely something because of the fact that, well, 2021 was an interesting period of time with the bug that you mentioned, because back then the bug could have been done, if I'm not mistaken here, by replicating a whole note of right when missing during an intro stage or something, because it
Yeah, if you
continues
can
and all that.
revive me, you could get your multiplier build up, I believe.
Yes, multiplayer built up to the maximum, and basically when you built up the multiplier, yeah, you just go with it. You basically
Yup.
can get yourself a diamond perfect just like that, with a couple of perfects. But you still had to do something to actually get that bug working. That exploit working.
Right,
But
right.
this one, you just had to play, and that's it.
Yeah, and which means a
You
lot of people
play.
just kind of got these by surprise. They didn't even know the bug was
Yep.
happening until,
Diamond
oh, what the
perfect.
heck? Where did that come from?
Wait, I got a lot of
Wait.
perfects. Why the heck do I get a
Yeah.
100k? That's a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? Some people they were like, "Oh my god!" They were happy. They were okay with this. They completed a lot of songs like that just with the exploit, getting as much as many perfects as they could possibly get, and they were happy with it. Because they completed some of the charts probably that were annoying to DP either way. Like I know some
Yeah.
people that completed Crank That, for example, with a couple of
Mhm.
perfects because they thought the song was annoying, which hey, I cannot blame them for that.
Right,
But
right.
again, it came with an exploit, and a lot of people did have an outcry of sorts to have the scores reset, pretty much have everything just be redone, I suppose, because again, a lot of people did get diamond perfects that were not diamond perfects really.
Right.
To which there is an argument to be made, though, since it's a bug that already. Well, we had these kinds of bugs, we had these kinds of exploits. Some of them were crucial, like in 2021, and some of them were also kind of crucial, but it depends on the songs you played. For example, there was the whole tick bug where you could just tap a hold note and get every single tick just by tapping. That's it. So,
Right.
in that regard, the question is, what happened to those bugs? They got fixed. They got fixed pretty quickly if you think about it, because
Yeah.
it didn't like last a
Yes
week.
and no.
I
It
mean,
didn't like last a week. But with the 2021 bug, I don't know exactly like when it got fixed, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
it was a
about the timeline on
bug that not a lot of people just knew about. So
Mm.
there wasn't really that big of an exposure for that exploit, and if some people did it, well, they did it, I guess, and that's about
Yeah.
it. But if you think about this one, the one that happened with Deluxe songs, people knew about it since the Discord server became an official one, and a lot of people joined it, so they would know. They would post, and they would be exposed to the fact that there's an exploit going around that allows you to get a diamond perfect by just playing the song. And the thing is too, playing the song, you did not have to actually do any extra steps. You just play
Right.
it.
It's just a simple. It's what you're already doing.
So, yes, and so the thing that again comes into question, it's basically, if you think about it, right? Was the whole reaction of like, oh, the game is about to die, the ranking is going to be screwed for such a long time or whatever, with people DPing the songs even though they did not get zero perfects and whatnot, or the reaction was exaggerated to a point that, well, again, everybody thought that the game is basically just on its deathbed, which,
I mean,
if I were to give the opinion, I think that it was definitely over exaggerated because of the fact that bugs always happen in games. Game breaking, not game breaking, they just do.
right.
But usually what happens to them, they get fixed, right? And if we talk about the deluxe leaderboards and whatnot, people that got those DPs and got that boost to the top or whatever by getting these DPs or whatever and whatnot, they would fizzle out because new deluxes would come out, people would probably still get the tour passes and whatever, which now they include deluxes, so they got more deluxe charts than just a free-to-play player, for example.
Right.
So in a way, deluxe leaderboards it kind of even now already fix themselves, because those people who are not legit in getting the Diamond Perfect and they only got it because of an exploit, they probably did not get any Diamond Perfects on other deluxes that came out because of the fact that the bug was fixed promptly. With the update, which we will talk about, to speed of the deluxes. But in regards to the whole bug issue and if it actually would have killed the game and whatnot, Dylan, what do you have to say?
I completely agree with everything you said. I mean, in reality, these people who are getting the Diamond Perfects, the deluxe leaderboards themselves are already very unbalanced. It's a very, very money, centered leaderboard. If you're paying for these deluxes, chances are you're at the top of the leaderboard. So the people who are getting the DPs, in reality, probably won't see the light of the leaderboard regardless, but it just depends. I mean, like, if you are, and I don't want to say, like, let's say you haven't gotten a deluxe extreme DP or a deluxe DP at all, then chances are it probably won't even matter regardless, because if we're talking about just strictly leaderboard's sake, it's not gonna make a difference. And that, like you said, they've kind of corrected themselves now with the addition of other deluxes.
Yes, and again, just because of the fact that we got that bug, a lot of people then got pissed off about the next update that happened to deluxes, which was the speed thing. Even though the bug got fixed, right? We had an update that changed the scroll speed to deluxes, making them faster now. Because before you had this sort of, I guess, slowdown effect going around with
it was horrible. It was extremes were fast and hards were incredibly sluggish. I mean, they were horrible.
Stage 1 was like the fastest part about the charts, and then like everything else would just slow down, and it would make for such a weird experience to go through, since for some reason you had, in this case, you needed to have more accuracy, I guess, to the song, because at least with speed and whatnot, right, it kind of speeds up, so accuracy is not like that big of an issue. You just need to keep up the tempo, keep up the rhythm.
Right.
Because of the fact that the song slows down, you just kind of become a visual player by this particular point.
Yep. Yeah.
Kinda.
It's much more awkward and janky.
It's just awkward, and in that sense, the deluxe getting that speed change was a great thing, because in all honesty, some of these charts, again, their creativity became more apparent. La 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 became even more, lively. Freaking Pompeii, even still, with the Aqua Stage 4, at least the speed makes sense. So it's, it's not like, it's still shit, but
it was easier to visualize.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yes. At least it's natural shit. And the other songs, like, the less I know the better. The speed up there was just a godsend as well, because of the fact that the less I know the better chart is definitely getting a little bit more mellow towards the end, like back when it released, right?
Right.
So having that slowdown did not help it any way, shape, or form. Right. And also, it helped some extremes out, because, the slowdown was actually active on some on most of the extremes. On all of them, actually. Like, for example, I remember Kilby Main feeling sluggish. I remember 7 Days freaking like a good chart, in my opinion, a very good deluxe transition.
Yeah.
Feeling so off because of the slowdown. But now, because of this, speed change, they're going fast. And in a way, they bring more challenge to the songs, because now, you need to basically concern yourself about the speed of the tile, so that you don't sleep on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is, in a way, pretty sick. It's a good addition. The only thing that happened, which kind of made a lot of people angry, were the beatback changes. We had the change to all the small things, which my God, a lot of people were so pissed off about that one. I remember the discovery of blank spaces there was just, ooh. Some
Yeah,
people
which
went into frenzy
I
on that
just
one.
didn't really get what the whole anger about it was. I mean, it happened to, I think, pretty much almost all charts, and it was totally due to like a visual thing. What would have happened if they didn't is there would be some weird note scrunching, because it's just like they had to create a gap there, because if you think about it, the difference in stages, the notes that you're playing at the end of the stage are going to be a different speed than the notes in the next stage. So if you had notes right next to each other in a pattern, it would look almost, it would be a very weird visually.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make
Yep.
sense.
And I also think that at the end of the day, that whole speed change thing with the chart changes and all that, it was so again exaggerated. Because some people were
Yeah.
saying like that Deluxes got killed this day. The concept of Deluxes got killed because they don't feel
It's
unique
just
anymore.
Wow.
so
Which to
goofy.
me is just, I'm sorry, but a chart change that I would give as an example where the track actually like dies with it is I Like Him. The normal I Like Him, the original one to
Oh
whatever we
yeah,
have right
true.
now.
Yeah.
That chart,
I remember
and
it being so hard when it first came out. It wasn't not really that hard looking back, you know, but it was like one up and one down at the same time or something like that.
yes. It,
And
yeah, it was-
yeah, at the time it was really challenging. It was not something
Yeah.
very common, and I think it was like the only one doing that at the time.
yeah, at the time it was definitely like a unique chart, and
Yep.
to be honest, like a part of me still misses that one because
Me
again,
too, me too.
it gave so much character to I Like Him as a song, and now it's just like, yeah, it's good for like, you know, progressive difficulty and all that, because you know you don't stop at the freaking calling up and getting
Right.
no numbers tapping.
But hey, we'll get to see something cool with its deluxe, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Maybe
honestly,
it will come back in some points, like
the return of
with diagonal swipes.
diagonal swipes and the return of the calling up. I'm
Yeah.
calling someone. I mean, yeah, but the change to I Like Him was a drastic one. It changed a lot of the feel that the chart had. The changes that, I mean, and a lot of chart changes, if you think about it, to Haas chart change, that definitely was impactful. Mantra's chart change was definitely a thing that just impacted the chart and the feel of the song to the better, in my opinion, but still, it impacted.
Yeah.
The chart changes that happened with all the small things, the chart changes that happened with some of the, Hey Ya, especially with like one of the triplets in there. The chart changes that happened to all the small things, the chart changes that happened to Hey Ya, especially with that like small triplet at the here we go now, that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are pissed off about that, which I think if we go into the grand scheme of things, that did not do any injustice to the charts.
No,
In fact-
it was just not enough of a change. It really didn't do much.
In fact, the charts are still the same, mostly, because in all the small things, you still got that final stage. It's consistent. It's not like, you know, they just put a lot of gaps in there and had the stage have breaks or whatever. That's not the case. It's still the same. It has this, you know, gap before the spam, I guess, but that's about it. There's nothing else. Then you get the triplet in Hey Ya and other small changes in Hey Ya. But then again, what is the main difficult part in a way of Hey Ya? It's the you think you got it or you think you got it part.
Right.
Because of the swipes and all that. And also the work it, and also shake it, I guess. True. But
Yes.
that's about it. The triplet was out of, well, I mean, it was charted, okay, but it worked with the slower speed. Because again, it was more about accuracy and whatever, right?
Right.
If you talk about the speed up, the triplet would have been such an awkward thing to hit for any player, honestly. It would lead up to frustration because people would just say, man, why the fuck is it there? That's bullshit. Why do I have
Right.
to press?
And imagine that plus the weird visualization of a speed change, it would probably just look like a mess.
It would look like a mess, and again, it would just be something that I don't think would count. Like, I don't think it would just go smoothly with the new speed change.
Right,
Definitely.
right. I think in the end, the benefits of having charts that are speeding up outweigh the negatives of having gaps like by 10. Like, it's not even close.
Yes. And again, after all of that debacle, because I feel like when the speed change happened and the bug got fixed, I feel like as of now even, a lot of people, they just kind of accepted it. As in,
Right.
it's a thing that happened. Which really is the good ending of the story, I suppose. Because most people in the community, they were like, well, it got fixed, right? And the speed change is actually quite alright. Mostly. So we just could accept it and we move on. Pretty much. Some people I know from the community, they definitely took the whole thing too hard. They took the whole thing of not resetting scores too hard. They took the whole thing of the speed change to deluxes also too hard. And even left the game. Which, if you did that,
It's just
I mean, if you did that, kudos to you, I suppose, because again, it was your decision, you made it. But I would still, I guess, give this a sort of assessment of over exaggeration.
Yeah, 100%.
But then again, maybe something that is not an over exaggeration is the fact the reaction to season 16 having deluxes. Because it turned out to be true, right? After fixing the bug and adding the speed update to Deluxes, we found out that actually, right, Deluxes do exist. Oh my god, for this season 16? That's unbelievable. We got a lot of songs just shown up there. But what would it mean for the Tour Pass? That would mean that we just basically buy the same Tour Pass, but after getting the songs and after completing them to, whatever the best score we can get on it, we get the deluxe version added to the box, which means we have to collect more cards, 100 cards.
Yay!
More for a thing, which, to be perfectly honest, it again has positives and negatives. Positive is it gives value to the Tour Pass, more or less.
Right.
Because
you're getting...
you have rewards to collect. You have deluxes to
18
collect.
charts. 18 charts.
New chart. Yeah. 18 charts for $10. Well, I mean, getting access to that stuff.
It's value, but not. It's tough. It's tough.
It's a concept again. It's good, but then it just gives you more incentive, I guess. And if you think about it, the boxes do give you more incentive to play the game, actually, other than just, playing the event if you just don't have something like a song or a banner, and that's it. Right? Because you can still get deluxe cards out of the event wheel. Even if you got all the freaking rewards and all that, you can still get out of the spins cards, which is definitely a boost to play events. Same with the Tour Pass too. It's a boost to play because of, even to buy a Tour Pass because of the bonus cards. And again, you are basically getting more value out of it, and not just, oh, I collected all the 9 standard editions, but now what's going on? Oh, wait, I cannot actually collect any of the cases, I cannot actually collect any of the cards, nothing. Bonus cards are not just, they don't exist. I'm just leveling up the pass for the fact that I want to get level 99 or whatever. That's it.
Right.
Now at least it's better because of the fact that you actually get something out of it, which is cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So next, we are going to talk about the deluxe version of Godzilla, which is kind of like a split thing in the community. Some people like it a lot, and some people think it's like a missed opportunity because like in the normal version of Godzilla there is like this iconic in a way rapping part of Eminem, you know, with a lot of tiles and stuff. It's really challenging, and it was at the time one of the hardest extreme. This summer, I remember just trying to DP it, not to DP it, but just diamond it. It was kind of challenging in a way, and the Deluxe version did not make the cut of this part. Got really just throw away in a way. So is it a good or bad thing? In my opinion, it's a good thing, because like I would not have liked to have like some kind of weird pattern with like some arrows in the way, you know. I think it would have been such a mess, you know. And it's nearly as they said on the Discord, and I think the Reddit, it's really well charted on the normal version, and I don't see them doing something harder than the normal version in a Deluxe chart. But what's your opinion, Dylan? Because I know you are not a fan of them. Just yep, go ahead.
I tend to have the opposite opinion of most, but so here's what I guess this is what kind of, there's a couple things that bother me a lot. One thing, and I'm reading here from the notifications of Beatstar, we've got, it just says, "Are you ready for the ultimate challenge? As voted for by the community, the deluxe edition of Godzilla by Eminem is now available to unlock and play." Unfortunately, I just don't see it as the ultimate challenge, as they're calling it. Now, as a max averages player, all I do now is just seek out the difficult songs. That's why I like Duality Deluxe. But we don't get a lot. We don't get a lot of, like, compared to, you know, average difficulty songs, we don't get a lot of those final challenge songs. So when there's an opportunity for one, I'd like them to take the chance. And honestly, I'm not saying that I would have wanted a bunch of swipes and mess in the fast part, but what I think what would have probably done it good is if they just close the gaps, because with standard Godzilla, what we have right now is we have 1/16 big drill, then a gap, then a second giant 16th drill, and then we have some very chopped up stuff towards the very end. And I think if they would have just closed the gaps and made it 1/16 drill, I think I would have been happy with that, because then you don't have to deal with any messiness of swipes or any of that, and you could have kept the same pattern and just continued it into, you know, going from a right-handed pattern to a left-handed. There's ways you could do a transition that would have been clean, but I think I just would have preferred them to just, and I don't know, it's tough because obviously the cut they have right now is pretty good. I don't know what they would remove from it to, you know, cut down on time, because I think the time length of deluxes are around, most of them are landing at like the 220s. Some are close to 230, I think. I don't know how long deluxe charts are on average, but it would, I get it would have been tricky, and I don't think they're going to make a change to it, unfortunately, because it takes making a whole new cut, and that's a lot of work. I get it, but it is disappointing. It's very disappointing.
Okay. Yeah, so first and foremost, it's very important to talk about the thing that preceded Godzilla Deluxe in a way, and that's the fact that Deluxe song polls exist, right? It was a song that has been chosen by the community and all that.
To nobody's surprise, let's be honest. They threw it in there with a bunch of other songs, you know.
A lot
Obviously,
of
we're gonna
songs
choose it.
A lot of songs that I thought were deserving more than Godzilla. So I have bias in a way, because I was already thinking that Godzilla, at this point on, just did not deserve a deluxe. Because at the end of the day, the standard edition was already, well, in a way, pretty good. The final stage was charted to, I guess, Space Ape standards pretty well. And a lot of rhythm game players, they would have just said that, oh, it's so good, right? It's such a good freaking spam part, the drill and all that.
Yeah.
And pro players would say that. So, in a way, Godzilla Deluxe would have been a thing, I don't know, How would you actually do it? It's so hard to think about it with the cut that they had for the standard edition, right? And putting the final stage, the main bulk of the chart, which, again, if you think about it, the 4 stages before the actual, like, final stage, the final challenge with the Venom thing, it definitely was not as hard as, again, Space Ape was marketing it as. Because
Right.
again, they marketed the original Godzilla back then as the hardest song ever, the hardest extreme that have yet to develop,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then people beat it in a couple of minutes. Which, again, is it then a thing where is it actually a very difficult, like a difficult song for other players
mean-
that it's the actual ultimate challenge, or for the fact that for the pro players, the challenge was not as difficult as, for example, when they played a trooper, or they played any other difficult extreme like no one knows. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, in that regard, it's just that marketing can be such a double-edged sword since you can interpret things differently from certain point of view. So again, the max players, they beat the original Godzilla in a matter of minutes, and they perfected it in a matter of minutes. And yeah, because of the whole thing with the final stage, that's the issue, that's the problem. But other stages were not, right? And then the song appears in the deluxe song poll months later or whatever, right? It makes its return of sorts, and people are voting for it. Even though, again, I'm going to say it, the winner should have been either Basket Case, that was in the poll with Godzilla, because it would probably had a glow up compared to Godzilla, more so than the winner that we actually got, or Lithium, because more Nirvana content is good, and it would actually be interesting to see how Lithium would have played out as a deluxe. Maybe it wouldn't have been an extreme, but a really decent hard. Hell yeah, I would have been happy for that. But no, people chose Godzilla because it is not even because of the fact that they probably like the song as it is, mostly. But that's fine.
Just
It's
for
just for
the
the fact that
beat
fast
parts.
rap part.
Yeah.
The difficulty. They were seeking out something difficult. We wanted
They was-
something and we weren't given it.
They were seeking something either difficult or the
It's
fact
true,
that they
it's
were just
true.
very interested in seeing how Space Ape do it. But then
And
again,
they did it
what do
dirty.
you think would Space Ape do it? What could have Space Ape done in this case? But what they could have done in this case, A, they add the fast rap part. All these scenarios, by the way, they include the fast rap. But
Okay.
here's the thing: they do not change anything whatsoever. They keep it the same as it was, because remember, from the feedback that has been given by the audio team, they basically said the final part was already up to standards. So there was no point in actually changing it, and it was requested, I guess, for the cut to not have the fast rap part. At least from what I understood, the beat rappers themselves asked to have the cut where the audio does not have the fast rap part. Which,
Interesting.
I mean, it's fair, I suppose. Because again, if they would have just not changed anything about the song whatsoever, people would have been pissed, because why do we call it Godzilla Deluxe if there's nothing actually, well, different in this one? There's nothing different. And yet, okay, fair enough, I guess. They would have done a fast rap part, right? But they would have had it really forever. That's the counter argument,
Or
right?
they could have just closed the gaps.
Or close the gaps, or add, or do the really forever. Because again, if they would have closed the gaps, it would still be the same shit, but just they closed the gaps.
Yeah, I mean that's more of a stamina test though. If you have no time to take a break, no time to rest your hands for a second, and there's like 1 to 2 second gaps, it's just an extra little thing.
But then
it definitely
again,
adds.
people would probably call it just BS in this case. And
Well,
if they were to mix up patterns, they would just say, hey, I mean, why do I have this chart that's just impossible for me as a thumbs player or this and that to complete in any way, shape, or form, because the chart feels awkward. And the thing is, I feel like if Godzilla had the fast rap part in the deluxe form, it would have been awkward as hell. So, in that regard, what they've done, I guess, is they got the new audio cut or whatever. They got the bulk mostly to the actual upper stages, the freaking oh god, the freaking first stage, the second stage now has more notes because that's the first verse and the chorus. But obviously we got the addition of the second verse, we got the chorus for that, we got the third verse still, right? And we also have the trigger happy part. Which I mean, the transitions, by the way, just going to say it, it's in the video edit. Like in the regular song in general too. I've listened to the song because I noticed that, oh god, well, hold up a second. The transition after the chorus to the second verse sounds rough.
Right. Yeah.
But then again, it's in the radio edit. It sounds like this when you listen to it on Spotify. It's basically just an audio cut that has been taken by SpaceSafe that has been provided by the label. That's it. Same thing with, I mean, there was a cut definitely with the trigger happy part, the transition. But the thing is, like, that audio effect for like monster that was in the song, that was there.
Well,
it's not something
I know
that SpaceSafe made an effect or something. They decided to like make it break.
It's there. It's just not as clean as it could have been. It doesn't sound right when you're cutting from a different section of the song to that part.
Right, but then again, it would just probably sound weird in general if they would have done it any other way. If they would have introduced it.
It's a fast type of song, so they don't have
really
a lot of occasion to like cut it out and say, okay, next part.
Yeah. So I think like the transition, they've done their best, and it's not the most goofiest transition I've ever heard. Because if you want a goofy transition, like in general, right? I'm not talking about even the chart. I'm just talking about transition, a cut. Right. Go to Body Snatchers by Radiohead. Maybe play or fail at the intro, whatever. And listen to the ending loop. Listen to that and tell me if this is not the worst shit you've ever heard. I like the loop that it's the 21st century parts, like, right? Yeah, and so like the cut to Godzilla is not the worst thing. I don't think even it's a bad thing. It's just that the song kind of has it, so in a way I'm not against it because the song has it rough, so it's okay. I feel. And again, it's not disappointing. And again, I don't think that the song itself, Godzilla Deluxe, is a disappointing outcome because it does create a unique experience. Now, the thing is, you mentioned this argument, and I think, in a way, it kind of brings a little bit of legitimacy to the whole point of, like, it was supposed to be difficult, bro. The ultimate challenge calling. I think that's a mess up from the marketing team. It should have been at least like get ready for the ultimate experience. Because at least then the experience would be like something that you would either consider to be the ultimate experience because the chart is really
playing
fun.
The chart, it's really clean. It's a nice chart.
Yes. But also you could also say like, oh, maybe it's not the ultimate experience because I played a more difficult song and that's the ultimate experience. So here at least you could just weasel it out, and with the ultimate challenge, you're begging professional rhythm game players to just say, no, it's not. Or at least comparisons with the standard edition. I think in that regard, Godzilla Deluxe does not need comparisons to the final stage of Godzilla or whatever. I just don't think it's suitable in this case. Because again, it creates a unique experience, it creates a new type of experience because the swipes that fit the song and all that, the freaking just lovely tile placements which create for a really fun experience through and through, and also the Juice WRLD chorus improvements, which I mean, it is improvements. It does have improvements. So that's why I don't consider Godzilla Deluxe to be, well, a bad deluxe. And again,
Right.
I do think that Godzilla Deluxe's disappointment is over exaggerated because Base Ape was just kind of shot in the foot. Either way, if they would have either gotten the fast fat part added in, but they wouldn't have changed it, added the fast fat part in, but they would have filled in the gaps, but also add the Will It Forever swipes or make the patterns more chaotic because we gotta make it different, right? We're not just going to close the gaps or whatever and they'll leave it at that. We're going to actually do something else with the tiles. That would have been a problem. And again, we would have gotten a backlash. And right now, too, we got in a backlash because, again, people are saying that, oh, it's, not an ultimate challenge and all that, which I think, again, it's a mess up from the marketing team. It should have been called an ultimate experience. And that would have been way better than what they've told with the, ultimate challenge and all that.
Right.
Basically saying that it's the most difficult extreme of all time, I guess.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what they should have said it towards is an extreme that appeared in the season 16 we were talking about. Duality. That's the extreme that needed to be called the ultimate challenge.
And it was. It really was.
Because, god damn it, that song is difficult. The
It's
patterns
tough, and I admire
that
it.
they showed is definitely something that Beatstar has not seen since, well, either the Trooper or Godzilla or whatever other extreme. It just builds up this whole thing as in, oh, deluxe extremes are not difficult, right? Because, you have like your freaking Kill V Mames or 7 Days and stuff, right? But then, like, you receive something like Duality Deluxe and it just goes to hit you in the head saying like, yo, you were saying that the Deluxes are not difficult? Bro, get the hell out of here. But the question is, right, because again, it does chart all the things, kind of, right? It does improve upon the chart, in my opinion, the standard edition. But is it the right kind of difficulty for Beatstar? What do you think? Dylan, what do you think, Craft?
In my opinion, I don't think it's that good. I really enjoy diamonding it. Trying to diamond it because I'm not really the guy that DP a lot of extremes one. But yeah, in a way, I don't want to play this chart anymore because like it's so much not casual, as I said before, and I think it's way too overcharted, in a way, with a lot of swipes and one part which is like nearly impossible. So yeah, I think it's a great thing because like it was challenging compared to other extremes one. Yeah, I'm playing it one time and puff, I have a diamond, But at this level, I don't think it's that great of a chart,
Right. Anton?
Can I bring up actually one more thing about Godzilla's audio before I talk about Duality?
Yeah, okay.
Because there's something very interesting that it's controversial, but I don't see a lot of people bring it up, is the fact that they decided to not censor the word spazzing in the deluxe cut.
Well, yes, I think it's an oversight. I think it's an oversight.
It's interesting. I'm sure it was just something that the audio, because if we remember correctly, the audio team actually went back and censored spazzing in the original.
Yes.
So I'm assuming they just were not told about it or just didn't remember at this point. So I'm assuming they just kind of forgot. So I'll be interesting to see if they go back and ever change that or not, or if they don't. Right. But yeah, so about Duality, I mean, we don't have a lot of songs in the game that really push to that extensive difficulty. And when I'm sitting here with max averages, there's got to be something. I'm always waiting for something that will push the limits, and I think Duality is within reason. I think Duality Deluxe is 100% within reason. There are some parts, like the part with 24th, where it's fast and it's awkward and there's a lot of stuff going on. And I know a lot of people complain about swipes and bugging, and a lot of the times things it's tough. I think it's an appropriate difficulty. I really do.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. I would just say probably that Duality, in my personal opinion, I would keep it short and simple. It's a song that I like. It's a chart that I think is made well, but it's just freaking difficult to complete because of some spots that, holy fuck. If you don't have a good phone, or you don't have an optimal phone to play Beatstar, you're going to suffer.
That is true. A lot of things rely on device and hardware specs because, as we know, Beatstar is very picky with how it wants to run on certain hardware.
Yes. And it's just going to be, again, torture in a way. Torture in any way, shape, or form.
Alright, so that wraps us up to the final point where we're just kind of have to ask ourselves, what is the future of Deluxe songs? Obviously, we've got polls, so at least we're getting the community a little more involved here with the choosing of which ones get added to the game, which I think is really good. I think it has high hopes for the future, and another good sign, we thought we might only be getting 1 drop of 3 songs per month, but March gave us 2 drops of 3 songs, which is nice, and I think it's a good pace for the future. It's not gonna be too fast, not too slow. It's not 30 at once. It looks good for the future, and I'm hopeful. I really like the direction it's going in.
Personally think that the whole concept of Deluxes is a thing, obviously, for a lot of discussions for the community, a lot of debates in the community, but also a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, perhaps, because I just don't think that Space Save are going to do this sort of thing as in, well, Deluxes, we know that they're hard to grind for. Deluxes, yeah, we know that people are not having fun to get 100 cons or whatever. We're just not going to change it. You just sit there with events with the Deluxe Dashes now, with Deluxe Dash Plus sometimes, and that's about it. You just go away, vote for the songs in the polls. You like that shit, right? I don't think that's gonna be the case because they did do some good things at the end of the day for the community, as in the Deluxe song polls. I think the whole thing of actually voting in your song so it gets early into the game, that's a cool thing. That's a good concept.
Of course. It's
I
awesome.
like it. Even if some of the songs that I want to get in, they do not win.
It gets frustrating, but it's how voting works. So
at least it's how democracy works. But at least I can say this much. Even if I didn't want, for example, Viva La Vida as like the first Deluxe in mine or whatever, that would have gotten into the game, I guess. I still played the chart. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. So if we talk about that, Deluxe song polls are cool. They really good in giving you the power to community to actually choose the song they want. It's nice. But then, if I talk about the gameplay stuff, I feel like we're going to see more Deluxes that are improving upon the actual Standard Edition. While the Standard Editions are being, a thing of their own, still being fun, still being enjoyable to play through. Even if sometimes, like even this season, we had a lot of songs that were kind of feeling a little bit undercharted, I suppose, and some potential has been sort of missed.
Yeah, that's definitely a topic of worry, is that they might start trying to purposely underchart the standard song so that they can overchart with the Deluxe.
Which I think it's not going to be a real problem. Hopefully it's not going to be a real problem because, again, I want to see charts like Bleed Me Dry, for example. That Standard Edition is really good.
It is. It's probably the highlight of the season for me, honestly.
It is a highlight of the season, and it's really just a really good Deluxe as well. So it's good on both sides. And
Yep.
Believe Me Try is like, it's not a leftover song or whatever, right? It released
Right.
just recently, so probably Space Ape just recently made the chart. So they
Yeah.
still got it, and they still can do it. It's just that, again, I feel like we need to see how the charts evolve with the next tour passes and just next stuff. Because, again, like, if we're going to have some charts that are going to, well, basically just be there, do the job charts, as Kraft would say.
Yep. Trademark.
Trademark, copyright, and all that. Yeah. Then again, what's the point if everybody's just going to look forward to playing the deluxes all the time? Which again, for them to actually play the deluxes, they need to get those deluxes, and you get and again you get 100 cards or whatever. Then you collect the deluxe, which is like, come on, you still need to have fun at least playing the standard editions, right? So I hope that that still, goes as in. Hold up. I hope that at the end of the day, deluxes and standards are both going to be creative and they're both going to be fun to play, and not just there for filler purposes, whatever.
Right. Definitely.
Probably something, if we talk about like specific songs, a discussion for another podcast where we rank stuff, but that's a subscriber special, so subscribe for that if you want to
Yeah.
see us
You guys wanna
rank
see something?
a lot of songs. Spoiler alert, all of them, all of the charts too. So that would be fun as a as a thing to do for a
It would be
subscriber
long.
special episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that the future also needs to hold more content in the wake of just getting the deluxes and tour passes. We need something to do outside of events, daily shuffle, and the tour pass grind.
Yeah.
A new kind of event where we can again get deluxe cards and get other stuff, because it's definitely something that, in my opinion, can go a long way with the community, because they definitely want new content. They definitely want stuff to do outside of just play the 9 times, filling up the cases, play the 2 times for daily shuffle, play the event if it's going on, watch the ads for the ad attempts or whatever. Mobile game ads, they kind of suck. So
Right.
at the end of the day, like, a new event, hopefully that does happen. Hopefully we do get some kind of development on that, and hopefully it's open to free-to-play players to actually compete and get rewards and all that, without too much pay-to-win advantage, or like pay-to-compete advantage,
For sure.
whatever term you want to use.
Pay to
And
play.
cut.
I think you said it all in a way. I have some hopes, for the future of Deluxe charts and songs. Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I just can't wait to just see what's next. After Deluxe charts and events that were the last summer. So yeah.
And that's about it for the main talking point. The deluxes, a lot of stuff for such a, well, in grand scheme of things, again, short period of time.
Yeah. Right.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
But again, it's definitely been interesting to discuss, and it's definitely been interesting to debate with you both on some issues. And I think that we're still looking at all of this in positive light, and that's what is important, I guess. And maybe, again, that positive light is going to be paid off, I suppose, and we're going to see some improvements with the deluxes. And as for now, we're going to do a little bit of improvement to your music taste, because it's song recommendation time. Now, there's been an improvement to this section, I mentioned that in the intro, in a way of we're now going to recommend more songs to you all. We got this format of either one single, one EP, and one album, or if we just cannot find an EP, then we can recommend two singles and one album. So, let's begin and give us some recommendations, I suppose, and also to the lovely audience. First and foremost, I guess, because I started talking and I'm going to start so that
Go
I can
ahead.
listen to you all. I got my album of the freaking year at the moment, at least, until something else comes out, for sure. Skrillex Quest for Fire. 2023 was a surprise year in a sense of I've listened to a Skrillex album, which is already a kind of a surprise because again, a Skrillex album after how many years? Like 8 years, I think, since 2015 and the Skrillex and Diplo project, the Jack U thing, right? Quest for Fire then comes out, which was built up for I think like 2 years now or something, right? And holy moly, this album is good. I've listened to just the entire album, no skips or whatever, even through the interludes that it had, and I was thinking to myself, is this actually like Skrillex? Because to me, Skrillex was always like regarded as he's the bro step guy. He's the Bangarang lad, he's the Scary Monsters and Night Sprites lad. He is that, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's loud noise, no real like subtlety of sorts. Which yeah, it's hype. I'm not saying that I hate the songs, right? But again, it's just the style that Skrillex kind of made for himself. But then you listen to this album, and you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, there's a lot of unique stuff in it. You listen to tracks like Leave Me Like This, you listen to tracks like Ratata. I mean, I can shout out every freaking track from this. Leave Me Like This, Ratata, Tears, Rumble, Butterflies, Inhale, Exhale, A Street I Know, Xena, which would be a fantastic extreme for Beatstar, by the way, Too Bizarre, Juked, Hydrate, not counting in the intermissions because there's not too much music in it, so hey. Good Space, Supersonic My Existence, still here with the ones that I came with. All of these songs are good listens, really great stuff to be discovered there. Quest for Fire is one of my recommendations and is the album that I would actually recommend. The EP that I will recommend for this episode is going to be something that, well, is related to this season's pass song, Bleed Me Dry. And that is the EP called All For You by Electric Enemy. Technically, it's basically just a single with, All For You being in there, the newest song from Electric Enemy. But it also has some of the previous tracks like Bleed Me Dry, Burn, Take the Wheel, and Give Me the Words. All of these songs are good listens, and all of these songs, in my opinion, are a great build-up to what is, well, something that I'm a bit excited for, an upcoming album of Electric Enemy, a self-titled one. Waiting for that, just want to listen to it for sure. And the EPs with the singles and all that, they definitely help out in waiting for it. And Bleed Me Dry is generally a banger and one of, if not the best track out of the season. Very hype, and again, kind of fits the whole rise and shine bit, as in, building up hype.
Right.
And the single that I'm going to recommend to everyone, because it's something that I discovered recently. If you do not know this, please indulge yourself into this, in a way, mindfuck of sorts. It's Crank That, Soulja Boy, but it's not the regular one. It's a remix featuring one of the members of Blink-182, Travis Barker. So, if you know who Travis Barker is, And you know his style. I mean, Beatstar players know him from I Think I'm Okay with MGK and Youngblood. If you listen to that song, well, I mean, if you can imagine basically crank that Soldier Boy, but with Travis's production.
Yeah.
That's a unique experience. That's a weird one to listen through because again, I did not know that there was ever a remix of Soldier Boy with Travis Barker. So that would be my recommendation. Is it good? Is it not? I don't know. Discover yourself.
It's good for you, so yep.
Yeah.
I guess.
So I think I'm next. I'm gonna start with like my single, and it's Crazy Equal Genius from Panic at the Disco. So I just discovered this song today because I tried. They released on a new, like they updated one of the oldest Beat Saber DLC, and they added like this single to the main game, you know. And yeah, this one is just insane. I'm always playing, you know, with like extreme plus difficulty, and this chart is like 7.23 blocks per second, which is like the fifth most hardest song in the game. Yeah, this is totally crazy. I love this song. It's just, I don't know, it's just a feeling or something, but yeah. As of right now, I'm just listening to this song. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. For my EP recommendation, it's a single with like 7 songs, but let's say it's an EP. It's All Nighter from Tiesto, with like all of his bangers, like All Nighter, which is a great song. 10:45 with Tate McRae, The Business, which I know you don't really like, Infinite. The Model with Avamax, which is one of my favorite songs of Avamax, and Tiesto. So yeah, perfect matchup. And all of his like recent titles. He's like next month is releasing his new album called Drive, and I think I will buy it. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped about it. And for my album recommendation, it will be Seto from Disclosure, which I'm a real fan of Disclosure. It's like maybe one of my favorites, like artist group, you know, music group. Everything about it is just insane. I love listening to it. Maybe in my top 3 of my favorite albums. When a fire starts to burn is like insane. Latch is like insane. FOU is really great. White Noise is like insane. Defeated Normal is great. Stimulation is great. Voice is great. Second Chance is great. All of this stuff. You and Me is just insane. I love this one. I also love like the remix with Flume. You know, the Flume remix, which is like more popular than the OG one. But I really like the OG one too, and also Help Me Lose My Mind, which is like a masterpiece. I really like it. So yeah, go check it out. I'm listening to it like on vinyl because like I ordered it, you know, and I'm really happy to have it, you know, as a physical object.
That's
so,
awesome.
I'm really proud of myself. it's a really great listening experience. And you, Dylan?
Alright, so for my single, I'm going to have to recommend Hook by Blues Traveler. Honestly, what blows my mind the most is his vocals are just incredible. I mean, he is the lead singer is incredibly talented. But what I did recently is I read into this song because I was curious, and I mean, it's just genius the way it's written. The hook or chorus of it is literally talking about how it'll bring you back to the song because of the way he sings, and there's a like minute-long harmonica solo in the middle of it that just ties the whole thing together, and it switches tempos because after that it's a much faster paced singing, and I really did like it. But I do recommend you guys go check it out, and Blues Traveler as a whole. And I don't have an EP, but the album I will recommend is the album that Hook is from, called 4. A lot of big hits from them, and just a really good album and all. I recommend you guys go check it out.
And that wraps it up. Oh my god, we did it. Second episode is done. That's the thing, bros. I told you though, is that you need to expect podcasts to be that fucking long.
Yeah.
We are definitely going into all of these in the long run, and we need to morally be prepared for, the most extreme circumstances, trying to get through a lot of talking points. And at the end of the day, we did it. We are live. Congratulations to everyone.
If you made it through this all the way, I'm impressed, and thank you.
Yes, and if you're watching still, and you are listening to this part, please, we would appreciate you dropping a like to the video.
Leave some feedback in the comments.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Some lovely feedback, a little bit of subscribing too. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
To follow or turn on the notification bell as well, just to see when the next episode comes out, because we're still yet to actually create a sub schedule that is consistent because of some real life issues, which
it happens.
They are real life issues, so we gotta account for that. And yeah, I mean, if you like the episode, just tell us. I mean, what you really think. Give us some criticism. Give us some really just. If you want a positive feedback, that's fine. Give positive feedback. I think we'll be happy.
We appreciate it all. It helps. It really does.
Indeed. And yeah, I hope that we see you all in the next episode of the podcast. And episode 3 is going to be, well, interesting as well as the other 2 that we have right now. So, thank you all, and see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
See ya.